Hello and welcome to Black Winter Nights here on the D20 Multiverse with myself. Can I do that any cornier? I don't know. With myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master, and my lovely players, the Black Winter Nights. Welcome along for this D&D session beaming out of Wellington, New Zealand. We hope you're having a wonderful day, evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We'd like to give a special shout out to Leonard, our favourite fan. Thank you so much for the donation.
We don't have favourites.
We don't have favourites.
But Leonard's up.
But you can buy our love, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like children from a divorced family, you can totally buy our love.
We are persons of negotiable affection.
So thanks so much. Basically, the money that's been donated from our lovely viewers, this Saturday at my work, where I sell board games and Dungeons and Dragons things, we're having a big miniature swap meet where people are bringing miniatures pre-painted and selling them and swapping them, so we're taking that cash down there, and next time you tune in, there'll be really cool, like, yeah, little miniatures for the players and such, so I'll throw in some suitably challenging combat for them as well. Before we get in, we'll do our standard announcements. We'd love to thank our new followers, because Denny, spelt in the weirdest way I've ever seen Denny spelt. So that's a first. Nameless Namer 63. Not all that wander are lost. Sir Bings, or if you're using IRC, Ping, sure. Zakup! I love that you just put all the extra U's in there, so I had to say it like that. Very well done. And the King of Tokyo, which is actually quite a fun game. I do enjoy that. I sell that at my store. Thank you guys so much. It makes us feel very loved and validates our poor choices in life. Basically, the first thing I do in the morning is say, Cortana, play Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. And then the second thing I do is check the sub list that me and Dave have in the whiteboard in our flat. Because you guys are awesome, we love you. Remember, check out our other content. We've got NPCs of Taldore on our YouTube channel, D20 Multiverse, which reviews and recaps Critical Role each week. We've also got Dragon Tavern, which has just been revived, and me and Dave talk about all things D&D. Can I tell them what the next episode's about?
Yeah, might as well.
The next episode coming out tomorrow is about...
You were there.
I was there. And I totally know.
It's a surprise,
well. It's a surprise. What was it?
Animated.
Oh yes! Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon. Dave found the wonderfully wholesome...
The 80s one?
The 80s one.
Oh god, no! The 1983.
1983 cartoon based on first edition and perhaps advanced edition of Dungeons and Dragons. The most wholesome hour of half-hour TV I've ever seen in my life. So if you want a review of that, check out Dragon Tavern coming out tomorrow on the D20 Multiverse. The one after that, can I tell them what that's going to be?
Yeah.
That is us reviewing Critical Role comic, Vox Machina Origins, which we just got because it went live on the internet. We bought it immediately because big hearts. So check that out. Of course, check out the GM's Journey on iTunes and SoundCloud. Actually doing really well. It's very, very popular. We've had over 100 plays on that.
Oh, so it's 206.
Over 200 plays.
274.
274 plays on iTunes and SoundCloud. So go check out the GM Journey with our wonderful friend, comedian, Benjamin Crellin. And if you check out episode 3, I think it is, Will was on that one.
I was on 1, I'm not sure what episode it was.
6.
6. I was close, that's some multiple.
You were episode 2.
I was episode 2, yeah, so go check that out. But anyway, we're here for tonight for some D&D, so let's get into tonight's episode of Black Winter Nights. The party. Travelling under Thromin Ashback, the Dwarven King of Blackwinter Castle's command to gather information on the recent events troubling people from the centre of Ukast, one of the continents in the wonderful world Elisia. The party had intended to go towards Death Dark Temple because of Arkyan, who was the possessor of a rather magical eye that had been forged by the 3 great necromancers in Death Dark. Upon arriving, they instead found their way into the Temple of the Screaming Scare, where they met the 2 twins, vampiric twins, Silencia and Fangoria, one of the 5 of the Lords of Violence. They had found an old man dying in the woods that had been attacked by some of the vampires who had unleashed, essentially, that had escaped from the Temple of the Screaming Scare. He was on a mission to bring a book to Thromin Ashback, and had given that book to the party. The book contained the history of Elisia, more specifically, the Age of Violence, where 5 great lords, the Ice King, the Lava Lord, the Ogre King, Silencia and Fangoria, and Nemesai, the Dragon Rider, had nearly taken from the entire world everything it holds dear, and in fact laid waste to cities and kingdoms alike. The party had managed to fight off some of these vampires However, 30 to 35, maybe 40 of them escaped into the night. They managed to crush and kill Silencia's sister, Fangoria. And Silencia has not taken the news so well. In fact, he may or may not be hunting the party, but the party themselves made their way to Death Dark, where they entered, were greeted by horrible visions of their own demise, but through some rolls of constitution managed to make their way into the basement where they found another figure who had another artifact forged by the 3 great necromancers. In fact, one of 5 from those created. The eye, the heart, and a few others. If you watch that episode, you'll know what the others were, but I'm not going to say it. The party had tried to make their way out to find the way locked, and upon the reading by Dain of some ancient Elvish and Dwarven runes, discovered that payment was required to exit, and Gorstag had offered himself, and had been imprinted with the mark of Nemesis, the Dragon Rider, who at any time, according to the pact, may now call on a favour from Gorstag that he must obey. The party made their way outside, where the rain had cleared, and that's where we find ourselves tonight. So, deep in the centre of Ukast, you find yourselves standing on the stone steps overgrown with vines and weeds. The sun is high in the sky, it's maybe noon. There's a couple of clouds lilting away from the edges of the sky that you can see. The trees around you are bright and vibrant. Shiver, you immediately notice there's a couple of snakes in some of the trees, winding their way around branches, and small other critters going about their daily lives.
Are the snakes native to this area, or does it look abnormal at all?
You can roll nature or history.
I roll nature with a wonderful 12.
Wonderful 12. They're certainly not unheard of.
Okay.
Although you had heard tales as a young lad, within the circle of the unending moon, of a great snake that did live within the centre of Ukast.
Alright.
Giant poisonous snake.
Okay.
There is parts of this area that turns more from forest to jungle. Unkept, wild, and untamed jungle. Quite some way away, but...
Intelligent giant poisonous snake, or just a giant poisonous snake that is...
You actually heard stories of maybe 300 years before your time. The unending moon resided in that forest, but had been chased out by a giant poisonous snake. But that's all you know, with a 12.
Okay.
Gorstag, you find the faint glow of sunlight hitting you, but from the beams, a slight fang of regret from Pelor as he worriedly watches this new pact. What are you guys doing?
Do we not have perhaps ill news of Thromin?
That is probably something I should have mentioned in the lead up and in the recap. Yes, Twitter had returned with a note. You'd been summoned by Thromin, it seemed, to Blackwinter. Upon sending Twitter there, he had returned with the news that black banners now drape the walls, and in fact could not find Thromin within that place.
What do you guys think we should do first of all? Obviously we need to get back to Blackwinter and find out what's going on there sooner rather than later, but while we're here, considering it's a week-long journey to get back, what else is there to be done here?
Was this the correct temple we were in just now? Because we were sent to stop all manner of evil brewing this way, weren't we?
Yeah, and we simply ended up following the eye as opposed to going where we were directed. And we ended up, what was the name of the temple?
So the one
Silent
where
Scream?
the eye had been made was Death Dark Temple, and the one where the pact was made, the one where the vampires were, was Temple of the Screaming Scare.
So we didn't actually get to the Death Dark Temple?
No, that is where you had made the pact.
Yeah, so that's where we've just come out of.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay, so that's now empty and clean.
Yes.
Okay. So the source of the anything that's emanating from Death Dark Temple we've actually gotten rid of. Okay.
As far as we know, well, the weather seems to have changed out here as well.
Okay. I mentioned to the rest of the party about this large snake and whether or not we can spare, say, a couple of hours for me to go and have a look and see what I can find.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I think we can spare a couple of hours, right?
Is there anything else that needs to be done around the area?
Not that I'm aware of.
There's the Lords of Violence we could slay while they still slumber.
That's a good point, actually. Yep.
This is a good point. Good point.
Is there one nearby?
Well, what's left? There's the vampire,
Silencia.
who will be nearby.
Not slumbering?
Yeah. I'd rather take him when he's more indisposed.
Daytime might Might be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Nemesis the Dragon Rider doesn't sound like fun, but you've got the Ogre King, the Frost King, and the Fire Lord, who are all giants or ogres. We could
Yeah.
probably take those ones first.
Yeah.
Cynthia mentioned the Ogre King in the mountain, I recall.
The Endless Mountain.
The Endless Mountain.
Yeah.
How far is the Endless Mountain?
That is from where you are now, maybe 2 days south.
2 days south.
Is that kind of on the way back to Blackwinter anyway? And that,
Well, currently if the Endless Mountain was here,
Yeah.
And Blackwind was here, you would be around here.
oh, okay.
So I suppose you could swing around like
So
that.
it's right,
It'd still be the longer way, but
but it's worth. I'd say
it's worth the journey.
Yep.
I'm happy to meet the snake.
Alright. Well, I'll just go. Well, there's snakes in the trees, which is. For some reason, just strikes me as odd. Not unheard of, just odd.
You could ask the snake what's going on.
That's what I'm planning on doing.
Cool.
Okay.
How are the rest of us looking? I mean, I know my hands aren't melting anymore, but is anyone missing any health or needing to rest or anything?
I could regain some spell slots, but to be honest,
Yeah.
I'm not. I am. Otherwise,
think
I'm fine. So
I think
it's
I've
not
got-
super desperate. But
I've got a couple of minor scratches.
Okay.
Not worried.
Sure.
Okay, I go up to the snakes and say hi.
Cool. You can't speak with animals, and as you do that, familiar warmth and.
I'm a
kinship-
gnome, I can.
Yes. Okay. Fine. Right. So, one of them slithers down the branch and to the ground and rises himself up to look you in the eye.
I say hi and offer him some meat from my snacks.
Thank you very much, but I'm more than capable of hunting prey.
Oh, this is not about capability.
You
this
wish
is merely
something.
an offering.
Fine, and it snatches something from your hand with great speed, demonstrating the fact that it could attack at need be.
Fair enough. Trying to emphasize the respect I have for this predator and obviously very talented and capable animal. I ask whether or not it is heard of larger versions of its kind around here.
You speak of the great father of snakes.
Quite possibly, yes.
Yes. And he looks at you and he kind of sways a little bit. Are you aware of the recent plight of the forest?
No, please tell me more.
Some of my compadres, my friends, some would call them foolish words, have found themselves falling deeper under the spell of the drum.
Of the trying to rack my brains. What are they called? The snake people, not the Githyanki. The Wanti. Of the snake people or large versions of your kind.
You see, some of my friends have people texting while I'm trying to DM. Some of my friends find themselves consumed by a fury. Those creatures of lower intelligence have been switched, and he darts a little bit, to an instinct mode.
They have been controlled. They are not free to make their own choice.
Correct. Those foolish ones.
Do you wish help in freeing them from this curse?
Yes. In fact, the Great Father, when we looked up to, seems less sympathetic to the idea.
What more can you tell me of this curse, this control that comes over your brethren?
Can't you hear it? And as
Listen.
your mind kind of softens and opens up receptacles, small doors, and you look around the forests, you notice that while the sun is bright and the beams dart through the trees, there's this ominous feel. And you notice the ground's actually vibrating at a rather steady pace. And as the snake's eyes kind of watch yours as he slinks back and forth, you can hear in your head. Very menacing
Consistent drumming.
drum beat.
Attractive rhythm. Yes, I hear.
Consuming.
Consuming.
Yes.
Overwhelming. Distracting.
Causing anger and fury.
Whence it comes, this insatiable drumming?
Couple of days, I think, from the south.
South. Where resides your great lord?
The Great Lord, in the hanging jungles.
To the south? To the west? To the north? Do I know?
I don't know if the snake actually knows too much
Right.
about north and south.
Doesn't have its compass on it?
Yeah.
Alright. Can I get him to point in the direction of the Great Lord versus where the drummings come from?
Sure. And the drum beat, he slithers downwards
Mm-hmm.
and then turns around for where the father come is.
Okay, so 2 different directions.
Correct.
Okay. I thank the snake for its information and its help, and I throw some meat in the air for it to catch, because it obviously doesn't need me to hand it to him.
Exactly.
And take my farewell.
And it slithers away with great speed.
Come back to the party and tell them of a drumming sound, a hypnotic noise from the south that is controlling some of the snakes here, interestingly. The snake that I was talking to, shake off that change. The snake I was talking to, it heard a drumming from the south that was overwhelming, consuming, and has taken control of some of its other brethren. He says the Snake Lord, the one I'm trying to find, is out in a different direction, to which I point. But the drumming, controlling sound comes from the south, which is where we were going anyway. I'm keen to go south.
Yep, I am too.
Yeah. Can I put my ear to the ground and see if I can hear any drumming?
Roll insight.
Okay.
As Orthanc creaks and guidance.
Oh, thanks.
As Orthanc creaks his way down, his bones cracking as he does.
Come on, above 4. Yes. 13 plus 2, 15.
Cool. What's your intelligence?
8.
Can you make a con save, please?
A con save.
Wisdom save, sorry.
A wisdom save. That's a 12.
Okay.
Sorry.
As you
Alright.
as you put your ear to the ground,
Fucking charge it up.
and kind of focus your mind, you see that just above the ground, little shifts in the patterns of dirt, as if there's a shaking just beneath it. And as you try and train yourself to the sound, and the sound, it's a simple loop, but it's a very, very deep sound, and it gets into a place in your mind where it's hard to shut off. Have you ever heard Maroon 5's "This Love"? It's like.
Do I live on this planet?
It's that level of catchiness,
Yeah.
amplified manyfold.
Okay.
And as you remove your head from the ground, for you was listening, it's still playing in your head. And as you stand, you're not changed too much, but you kind of just think, fucking stupid tree. And you're just a little pissed.
That sounds like Orthanc. I definitely don't recall the sound of the drums. It's not like, for example, like an orc tribe thing, or anything I'd be familiar with as a musician.
Would you like to roll insight with advantage?
Okay. Come on, above 4.
Guidance.
Okay. That was a 9 plus 1 is 10. What was this?
Insight.
There you got advantage.
12. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's 3 and a 9.
Yeah.
12.
It doesn't spring to mind as anything that you've heard before, but yeah, has a rather dark tone to it.
Okay. I'll relay that I can definitely hear these drums. They're not familiar to me, but I think that there is some kind of compelling feature about them, and then I slap Dain.
Cool.
Just lightly.
Make a dex save. Dain.
I don't think I dodge it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Cool.
And I say, the music! And I turn away.
I'll be a bit
Is that
confused by that. Are there demons in your head, boy?
Just Maroon 5.
So, yes. No,
Yeah.
that joke fell flat. Okay, sorry.
It took me a while to get it. Okay. So the forest itself is seemingly quiet. There are a few things flying overhead. Can you all roll perception?
Yeah.
Thank you.
11.
20.
Natural fail.
A natural fail.
5. While Shiver goes, oh look at Cloud. Gorstag, please make a dex save as a small but furious squirrel comes sailing out of the darkness and jumps furiously at you once
I think
more.
this is like the second time in 2 seasons I've been attacked by a small rodent. I appreciate it.
You do manage to bat it out of the way with your dex save, but there's now this rabid creature scratching at your legs.
Alright, I will try and I guess I'll just try and stomp on it.
Go.
What?
Roll the hit.
There's a street. It'd be
Yeah.
11.
Cool, that hits. AC of 10, roll damage.
What's the?
It's a D4.
It's 3.
And,
Can I react and try and then bowl him over and save the squirrel?
yeah, sure.
I like you go from this Mormon to just like animal
Hey,
slaughterer.
Last time, that what was like a skunk or something
No.
fucked me up. So never again.
So,
Actually,
No
yeah.
chance.
it has 5 hit points, so it's still,
So it's still alive.
I
But
can
it's
tell the
injured.
bard to try and cancel out the music if he can use his bard
Sure.
sort of
Tries to attack you and fails.
Right.
like stuff.
Were you trying to bowl me over?
Yeah, I rolled a 9.
You're alright. Ah, yeah, that would fail.
Yeah.
So now it's just kind of scratching it, and you just see it's just...
Can I grapple the squirrel?
Yeah, sure.
We need to hold this.
Can you grab
Strength.
I would like to put a squirrel in an armbar if possible.
You can do that, yeah.
in a headlock.
Quick, if you've got a stick.
Do I overpower it with a... Is this athletics? Yeah, that'll be 22.
As Dain just immediately steps forward, snatches it up and puts it in a headlock, all in the same swift motion. Woof! Yeah, you've now got it restrained quite happily.
It's the same one I beat Big Bad with the other time.
Mm.
Why do I forget his name?
Which?
Helmet Dude? The other one?
Nice.
Yeah,
yeah, he did one. Yeah, same thing I did to him.
Helmet dude. Wow.
Dude.
You got it.
Do a medicine check on the squirrel to see, or animal
Yeah.
handling. I don't know.
Sure.
Nature check and
Nature
medicine check.
Yep, go for it.
So nature green.
I can't
That
roll
was
above
shit.
10. That's an 11.
Modified 23 for medicine for me.
16 for medicine, and I got a 8 on nature because apparently I suck at nature being a druid.
So, Gorstag,
Yep.
you notice that this is not so much a medical but an arcane thing.
Yep.
Orthanc. Orthanc.
We've become a hybrid.
It's your legitimate child.
Gorstag.
You've seen a similar thing with rabid animals, but that is usually accompanied by a foaming mouth, which this thing does not have. You yourself recognize again Arcana, and it just seems like no matter how you try and calm it and that kind of thing, it does not listen, it does not soften in the slightest.
In my tribe, we had an old medical practice, and I pull out my hammer. This usually works. Oh wait, you're holding it. This usually works.
Hold! Let us just try dispelling the magic first. Let us try that.
If you can do that.
You're the bard.
How about you play some?
Spell magic's at third level.
Oh right.
How about you play some other kind of music so you can drown out the?
Yeah,
drums.
I can. That's a good idea. Oh, actually, I'll try doing that first. I'll try
Roll
to do a
performance.
sick riff.
So, out comes the axe, which is suitably named, as it is not only a great axe, but a guitar.
Yeah,
How'd
I've
it
actually
come?
given it the name Rackworm as well, but I like to save that when I'm doing a proper stage performance
Oh, yeah.
with the maker. Yeah. Anyway,
So out comes the axe, and
whew, that's a solid 3 on the roll, which brings it up to a 7.
I kind of pop and shuffle awkwardly just because I'm so disappointed at how.
I'm
As
so
all-
happy our bard is so much better than you.
It's mostly my dice.
Orthanc stands, pick in the air, and strums an almighty chord and starts playing Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh god! And I throw my axe on the ground, and then I cast silence.
Cool. Meanwhile, the creature is trying to break the
Can you-
grapple.
You're barred by title.
It's not succeeding in trying to break the grapple, Dain, but it is furiously.
So it's still trying to break the red one
Yeah.
as well.
In the
Yeah.
silence. Okay.
Well, you've got a hammer, I'll get a sack.
What?
Wait, do we need me to become a snake and hold it still while we do this?
Oh, sorry, did you cast silence on the thing?
No.
It's an area effect. It's like a 20-foot radius.
My mistake.
Yeah.
You're now holding a rather docile squirrel.
Very good.
Oh, excellent. Good.
I'll hold it out for a second.
Yeah.
Out of the cone of silence.
No.
And I'll pull it back in. And this isn't sustainable. I'll just shrug.
I'll drop the silence.
You still got it grappled. It's going to try and break again.
Yep.
With a 5? No.
You don't happen to have catapult, do you? We could get rid of this thing and start working towards the source of the music, because this is not going to achieve anything.
You could
I
just use
pull out
magic.
my hammer. We can get rid of this thing. So,
We could take off its arms and see where it goes.
do Do you know what the
I
catapult
think I
spell
have.
does?
I think I have obvious problems with this.
I mean, you could just like have it into the underbrush over there.
Why don't we deafen it and it'll be safe?
For a while, yeah.
Is the
Oh,
guy,
wait, what
is
are
the
you-
guy who just stomped on the squirrel? I think that's fucked up.
It's an old orcish medical solution again.
Can I druid craft some flowers and soft things to be able to plug its ears with?
It's
That's
still-
the weirdest use of druid craft, but you can try.
Okay, I'm going to find some of the local flora and druid craft out some, I don't know, cotton shoots or whatever I can find. Something nice and soft.
Roll nature.
Well, you've got the squirrel in a fucking head.
That is a 15.
Cool. And yes, you produce a series of little flowers that, when watered together, can
Yeah.
some kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try and plug its ears as best we can.
Cool. No, it's still rabbit. It's still going wild.
Still going wild?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think that worked.
What about tree sap? A more permanent solution.
What we need to do is get rid of this drumming.
Yeah, so
Seems
yeah, as I
to
said,
be
just
thing.
have it, a few meters that way.
And we need to get going
and then we'll
south.
just get going south.
This is not going to achieve
Yeah.
anything.
It's gonna just run back at you.
Well then, we'll see
Okay,
who's the bigger
we need to distract it with something then. Have we got anything to get it to follow?
I think we're a prime target at the moment. It'd have to lose sight of us first.
That's what I mean, like, there's the snakes over there. They would do natural things to it. We could direct it in the direction of the snakes.
Willing to cast a pass without trace after we huck it away.
Can do that. Can do that.
It seems like overkill.
I pull out a sack. Put it in hand. Put it in hand.
I just
Quick.
love the fact that you guys have fought demons and vampires, and now we're seriously just trying to deal with a fucking badger.
Look, I'm not using any more fucking
We're
spells
alone.
on this, okay?
Yeah, the badger would be no holds barred. I wouldn't try and.
Sorry.
Badgers are mean and nasty,
Yeah.
dude.
In the bag, quickly!
Yeah, I'll put it in the bag.
Okay, I close the top and like spin it around, not tying it, and then I just fucking throw it as far as I can.
That'll
Roll
probably
for it.
kill it.
Oh, poor thing. Alright, let's just get going now. South pass without
I
trace.
still can't roll above 10. That's an 8.
Okay, as you hit it with great gusto, something in your throat does not quite work. The angle of the shoulder kind of catches your muscles in a painful way, and you drop it to the ground. And now
Fucking run!
Everyone roll athletics.
I'm putting that die over there.
DC 17 to get away from it.
Oh,
Oh, fuck's sake.
Wait,
what kind of
athletics I can
squirrel
do.
is this?
I rolled
Can
for it.
I just grab him and carry him?
21.
14.
Okay, I'd be. Oh no, that's only 16.
Orthanc, Dain, and Shiver.
6.
It's coming. Okay, it's coming. Shiver. It's now clawing its way up you, and each time it does, it's digging its little paws into your skin. It's causing a little bit of pain.
Okay. Okay, I try and grab the thing.
Okay, yeah.
Dex save or anything, or just grab it?
No, I will make a save. What did you roll? Roll strength?
12.
So did I. You guys are locked in a battle. You haven't quite got it.
Evenly matched.
Squirrel!
I've had experience with squirrels. They generally kill everything they touch, which is not taken lightly.
I need to use this as one of my forms more often, obviously.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna continue. I need to just grab this thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna not kick it. I'm gonna slip my foot under it and then,
Roll strength.
throw it away.
Yeah.
With the foot. That is a 25.
Okay,
Oh.
Dain steps forward. As Shiver freaks out with this rabid squirrel clawing at his flesh, Dain just goes, no. Let me. You just like put your foot like it's perfectly just underneath its soft furry belly, and kind of like the squirrel has like this little tiny thought right beneath the drumbeat. That feels tickling, and then its next thought is, wow, there's the ground travelling away at great speed as it hurls through the thing, and you just see it like flipping around in the air. Gorstag holds up a little sign that says 10 as it lands.
You know how this like came out of the air at us? What if some other party had just been just like fucking daisy chaining the squirrel on?
In fact, further down through the forest, these lovely campers are setting up for a lunch when a squirrel comes flying from the air.
Well, that snake that was so stuck up.
Yeah. Anyway, the squirrel, eventually you hear...
Alright, let's go south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Traveling south is quite some time. You guys, once again, come out of where the Death Dark was, kind of like in a clearing, a small clearing, but a clearing nonetheless. You're now entering into quite heavy forests. The sunlight is limited by the branches woven together above your heads. The air is kind of hot and humid in here, just because of the proximity of the trees. You find more creatures, and a lot of creature corpses. It looks like there's been, a bloodbath of small things killing other small things in this place. I think Shiver, you'd pick it up first. That it looks like whenever two creatures have met and crossed paths,
They just fought.
Yeah.
Okay. Because these creatures are being driven insane by this beating.
Yeah. Is the drumming audible to us now?
I need you all to roll an insight check.
Modified. 24.
6. 14.
5.
So there's. It seems like this drum beat is always playing, and those of you who have heard it before, it's still within your mind.
Yep.
But you get the sense that, specifically Gorstag, you get the sense that it's only going to really get in and only be super audible if you're so susceptible with a lower intelligence.
Oh, okay, I see.
You think back to the baby and Black Winter.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll relay this to the rest of the party.
Gorstag-
You have to be a baby to fall for this.
Gorstag remembers that the last time you were in Black Winter, sorry. Last time you were in Black Winter, some creatures and some infants had been afflicted with the same.
Oh, yeah.
Can I check some of these animal corpses nearby and see how old the oldest of them is?
Yes, go for it. That would be investigation.
Cool. That'll be a whopping 0, so that's a 10.
Okay. Would anyone like to assist? Advantage then.
Guidance.
Advantage and guidance.
So, nice. Okay, I'll not use that one. That's even worse. But with guidance, it brings it up to a 14.
Cool. So it takes you some time to dig through. Maybe half an hour to an hour passes. Maybe only half an hour as you try and determine. It looks like the oldest one that you can find around here is maybe a week old.
Okay, I'll relay that. But it seems to be maybe a week's worth of corpses here.
How long have we travelled for this one?
From Black Winter?
Yeah. No, sorry, from where we met.
Oh, Death Dark?
Yeah.
Couple of hours.
Alright.
In fact, looking at the sky, it's maybe 4 o'clock at night.
Okay, let's continue on until dark, I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you travel further, deeper into the heart of the forest, you're now having to kind of hack with your swords away overgrown vines and thorny bushes and stuff
Druid
like that.
crafted
Craft
all the
that way. Yeah. As you know, and as you do when you overturn these kind of vines and unravel the branches, you see a lot of insects kind of along the ground that are kind of escaping. It looks like a few of them themselves are just kind of furiously biting into each other. In fact, you're greeted with this weird paradox of you've always known that life gives life, and life needs things to live. Life is a self-sustaining kind of system. But there's an equilibrium, there's a harmony within that. When yes, sometimes a larger animal needs to feed on a smaller one, but it's all for the greater good. This is kind of a sense of you've taken that fight instinct and risen it to a level that the system is no longer working. In fact, you see very
Everything's
clearly
just attacking everything. It's not for a purpose, it's just attacking because it wants to attack.
You see the forest thrown into disharmony.
Yeah. Alright, report that as well.
Cool.
Is this any kind of druid magic you've seen before?
Not that I'm currently aware. Can I roll?
History.
Green for history. That is a 15.
Cool. Obviously, you've heard stories and you know that animals can be calmed through music. Certainly, if you were to attend to the wounds of a wolf, you wouldn't be entirely out of practice to throw in a potion of sleep or something like that, some herbs to calm it. But once it awakens and stuff, often music will put it in a state where it's not going to attack. This is seemingly the opposite, but more than that, it's an unnatural occurrence to have something that's so consumed with anger that it considers little else.
So I relay that and say, well, this is not a natural form of music. It is more a natural form of music. It is not a druid or nature form of magic. This is music that is influencing people. This seems bardic.
That's not one I'm familiar with.
In a general sense for bardic magic, would someone have to be physically playing the drums, a set of drums for this to happen, or could this just be a spell that's causing the sound to come out, and they're not just having to stand there for...
It would be a spell. For a bard, the music is just the strings upon which you pluck to change the universe around you. Anyone can recreate this using magic. It could be anything, really.
Okay.
Maybe it is a magical drum.
As you guys speak and deliberate, the sun appears to now be darting beyond the horizon. The skies are lit with oranges and blazing purples as dusk kind of falls around you. And you can see maybe 4 or 5 stars that are now out, kind of blinking down, twinkling in the days of twilight.
Should we look for a camp?
Yeah. Let's
Cool.
do that.
I'd say the snake had the right idea, and we should try and camp in a tree.
Good idea.
Agreed.
See if I can druid
Druid
craft some trees together.
Completely at home in this kind of druid craft, as the unending moon had lived mostly in a city that was interwoven trees and branches. So, kind of following that architecture to feel like maybe you're a bit closer to home. You druid craft some small parts of the city that you remember. I need you to roll insight as this
11.
cool. As the night comes down, you see crossing over as you're in the trees, quite a large eagle just, and I'm talking giant eagle, swooping across the forests.
9.
11.
9.
Cool. You don't notice too much. You are at this point unable to tell if this is affected by the music of the song. Obviously that's what you check for first, but it is now just circling this forest.
Does it look like it's certainly us, or just the forest in general?
Looks like the forest.
Be a good idea to keep out of sight.
Yeah.
Try and
Sorry?
try and keep the foliage cover pretty dense
Sure.
and thick.
Yep.
Are birds that big known to circle this area? Do you know?
Danger?
Go for it.
That? No, I don't know.
Unaware.
It's a bird. It go flat.
Cool.
Right, well, shall we do watches tonight?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Who's taking first watch?
I'll take first watch.
Okay. The rest of you lay your weary heads on the branches made of vines and such. I imagine that Shiver also put little flowers by the pillow, the equivalent of being in a hotel and getting a mint.
A literal mint plant.
Yeah, he grows mint. Yeah, exactly. Okay. The branches themselves are quite comfortable, and you've turned there's a couple of trees into quite a nice little hovel. As you guys kind of drift Gorstag, you're immediately pulled into nightmares of Nemesis, the Dragon Rider, and you keep having these dreams that he asks you to throw your mother off a cliff, and he asks you to kill El, and he asks you to lay waste to cities, and you must obey. Every time you're startled awake by this, and kind of calmly put yourself back to sleep, your dreams and stuff, the nightmares intensify, and it just seems like your own psyche is kind of battling against with its sharp little claws. Orthanc, you think mainly of the song, and you're trying to pull it apart, and even look at it like jazz musicians do from alternate angles, but it just seems so complete in it's a loop. It seems like it's unlikely that any other music could penetrate that or try and change it in a way that kind of makes it beautiful. It just, to you, always seems ugly and dark, this music. Dain, you actually have a hard time falling asleep as your armour is growing quite brightly with the light of the One King at this time.
Right.
Shiver, please roll perception.
Alright. That is 16.
And can you also roll stealth with advantage?
Can you check?
Yeah, it's 20.
Okay. In fact, the way that you've crafted these branches is not only effective in stealthfulness, but you did it in other parts of the forest as well, so that looking over from above, there's no way that they'll be able to go, oh look, all those trees are melded together, kind of thing. This giant eagle you do hear flapping around every so often, every half hour, every hour, you hear it come closer and drift away. You also, from your perch, do see quite a numerous amount of furied creatures. After maybe a couple of hours though, it seems like all the creatures that were in this area have gone. They've been in fury and have just travelled in straight lines, attacking each other when they came close, but kind of just spreading out. And after a while, there's nothing. There's just no creatures. Okay. That is your watch. Who's taking next watch?
Right.
Okay.
Cool. Roll perception as Shiver, you fall asleep in one of your more holy places.
That is a 19.
Cool. You yourself see no more creatures, but you do notice that a couple of the rocks on the ground are still kind of vibrating in the same way that sound would. So you realise that the song, wherever it may be and whatever it is must still be playing. You also hear the giant eagle, and it maybe for the first 2 hours of the watch, you hear it coming and going. Towards the end of your watch, you hear it no more. It seems to have gone.
Okay.
Who's next?
I'll go next.
Right. Roll perception. Dain, as you fall asleep to the soft glow of your armor.
No line.
Nice.
That's a 22.
Cool. Yeah. 22. I need you to make a religion check.
That's a 16.
Cool. So as you watch the forest, and you're seeing it in a light that is slightly shifted in the fact that there's no creatures at this time. You don't hear the sound of birds. You don't hear the scutter of creatures or anything. You're unsettled by the silence that you find sitting in your little hammock in this forest. But the silence itself is what you focus on. You try and take a meditative stance to this and try and clear your mind with the same silence as the silence of the forest. However, as you do, that drumbeat that was somewhat dormant but still playing kind of brings itself up, and as it does, you just hear the words of Pelor as his form kind of flashes in front of you, and you're actually more perceiving what feels like an echo of Pelor. It seems that the great god has shifted at some point, and this is kind of like a remnant of his thoughts or some kind of thing. And he just says, "I recognize that drum," and then he travels to a place that's too far away from you to catch. Cool. All right. Roll perception. As Gorstag falls asleep, your nightmares completely ease. At
Oh
the
my
sound of the
god.
words of Pelor.
It's above 10. That's a modified 20.
Cool. Yeah, first thing you notice is the silence of the forest, the eerie silence, but again, that drumbeat comes back in the absence of any forest noise, but now it's getting stronger and stronger. I need you to make a wisdom save.
Okay. Also, Arkyan and Fate are with us, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Has Arkyan been less possessed and floating than usual?
Yes.
Okay.
As he moves away from Death Dark, the effects seem to have lessened.
Okay. Wisdom save, that's not bad, that's an 11.
Cool. Again, the sound of this repetitive drum, it's like having a fly buzzing in your mind that you can't quite swap. And occasionally it comes close to you and it goes past your ear and there's that very loud buzzing sound that just pisses you off to no end. And then it comes back, but you just can't seem to bat it away. It's just constantly getting closer. This drum beat is just infuriating. And there's certain times where you just want to punch a tree. But then it kind of lessens, but it always seems to be playing.
Okay, while I'm on my watch, I feel bad about doing this while Jesse isn't here, but I'd like to sneak over to Arkyan and wake him up with my axe by his face.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and be quiet.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to whisper this, so I'll roll a stealth check if
Okay.
necessary. That's a 13.
Okay.
And gonna wake him up, and as soon as he wakes up, I'll put my finger over his mouth so he doesn't say anything, and I kid no. No.
Come here. Yep.
Then I say, one of my crewmates told me something about some beer, and they thought that you had something to do with the disappearance of a lot of alcohol, and also the subversion of the order of my men from beneath me. Does that sound familiar to you?
No,
I'm not.
No, I don't remember.
I believe you.
No. Was it? No, it wasn't. I don't think. Roll insight. I'm gonna roll bluff.
Insight. Okay.
Bluff.
Oh, sorry. I think you've 3.5.
I'm gonna roll bluff.
I'm going to use a whole different system.
That's 12.
Cool. You know he's lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's best if you're honest and don't ever get between my crew and I again. Remember, I'm there when you're in battle, and sometimes when people aren't looking, this axe can go awry. Sleep
Cool.
tight now, and I walk away.
He gets no more sleep that night. In fact, his eyes are open the entire time. Just, what was that? And eventually morning comes. The light breaks. The forest is now. It just seems empty. It's so quiet that there's the swaying of the trees, which is nice, and the sun plays nice little patterns as the beams dart through the branches. But it's eerily so.
Is that arcane heart that I have in my pocket?
As the further you get from Death Dark, the less it starts kind of humming and buzzing.
Right.
But you also get the sense that it wants to be reunited with the eye. It wants to create a whole. When you get the two together, they kind of vibrate. Yeah.
They're just necromantic body donors, really. Body donors, organ donors. Can I listen out and see if the drums are still there?
Yeah.
And see if it makes me want to murder Arkyan anymore?
Sure.
That's a 1.
Nope. However, you can everyone roll perception, please.
18.
11.
6.
19. Sorry, 19.
And everyone roll insight.
Do you want me to roll again? Or
15.
Same.
19 for perception and 12 for insight.
7 for insight.
Okay. The sound of the forest, now that it's all been quieted, you can hear things. You can hear sound travel over quite some distance. And despite the fact you find yourselves quite far into the centre of your cast, not just into the centre of your cast, but in what places that were generally considered untravelled, unkempt, and hidden parts of the world where there's not much actual people dwelling in, save for the city of Time, which is kind of nearby. But the sound, unmistakably, you hear what sounds like carriages being taken. And voices. Maybe, I don't know, some sounds carrying, but towards the south, quite some distance.
Can we tell which language they're speaking?
It's common,
Can we hear the detail of what they're saying?
not at this distance.
Alright. Sneak through the forest and go in that direction at the very least, see if we can't catch some things.
Roll some stealth.
15.
I have disadvantage. So
Oh, me too.
4.
12.
Oh, screw this. Pass without trace.
15.
And pass without trace. Okay, cool. So as you guys start making your way through the forests, trying to keep low, some of you cannot help but jingle and jangle. So Shiver kind of face palms and just waves a hand. And
I'm shining and jingling.
And no one notices now.
But as Shiver casts this thing, you just notice that on all your faces and your shadows and stuff, they just darken and deep into this very dark black until they kind of just obscure you. As you creep closer, you now see what is about 10 to 15 carts, each of them carrying a crate. Each of the crates carrying an animal. And maybe 30 people, mostly humans, maybe a couple of halflings, maybe 1 or maybe 2 dwarves. They don't look friendly, they look rather ragged. You can see kind of like gold teeth, missing teeth, and just scars, crudely made tattoos and stuff like that.
How many people have any cats?
So 10 to 15 carts, we'll say 10, and about 30 people.
Alright. What kind of animals have they got?
So the animals themselves are very, very rare. We're talking like panthers and winged beasts, wyverns, that kind of thing, and very dangerous creatures. Creatures with venoms, creatures with talons, creatures with claws, and the like.
The animals look happy about their production.
No.
No.
Do we notice any of the unicorn hunters from our journey into the forest?
Yes. In
Yeah.
fact, the entire company is there. The crate, the thing that they're carrying, their crate has like a black silk cloth over it.
Did we ever discover where they were taking whatever they found?
No, but we also got told that the unicorn was a ruse by the vampire.
Correct. To lure people in.
Oh, okay.
You had, I think, theorized, or being told, I can't remember which one it was, that some of these things were being taken for fighting pits in Blackcliff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which makes sense.
right.
Exactly what I thought. I would like to feed these animals.
I agree.
I whisper to the others.
Okay.
Yep, I'll go up to Fate and say, these look like nefarious bunch. Do you know them?
To Arkyan?
Fate.
to Fate. Fate says that she does not know them personally, but watching them, she definitely knows what kind of people they are.
Right.
Largely to survive, she had to associate with people that were less than desirable.
Does there seem to be a clear leader?
Not so much. Not so much.
You said there's, you said there's about 30 dudes, right? They all look like they're armed and ready to fight, or some of them are like just driving the wagons and...
What you mainly notice about them is an air of fear. They all look quite terrified wherever they're going. They look like they're ready to fight.
I have an idea, Fate, wherever you may be, somewhere in England.
What's England?
Where all the Ings live. I could make you invisible, and you could start opening locks.
Ooh, nice.
And then while you're doing that, some of us could make a distraction elsewhere, and hopefully some of the dumb beasts, forgive me, will manage to find their way out.
Fate mentions that what's the plan once you unlock these very dangerous creatures from their cages?
You're invisible. Hopefully they leave and or kill everyone.
Okay. I imagine Fate would be up for that.
Any more intelligent ideas from anyone?
We can still hear the drum beat, can we?
Yeah. Well,
So-
yeah, some of you.
In which-
Does it look
Oh, so it's more of the kill than run away.
does it look like they're travelling towards where we think the drum beat is coming from, or away from there?
Roll inside.
That is an 18.
Cool. Well, you do know that. Yeah. Essentially, yes.
Alright, so yes, they're travelling towards the...
So the further they go in that direction, the more these beasts are going to go completely mad. So if they get let loose, they will be killing everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we say in hiding. I've got like fog clouds and things that can help hide us.
Yeah. I think the plan of open up as many cages as they can. Assuming the animals will start attacking people, we can then clean up any of the survivors
Yep.
and hopefully not get killed by the animals ourselves.
Yeah.
And free the rest of the animals then.
Well, how many more silence have you got?
Well, we've rested, so
You got as many silences as we
I've
need
got
now.
3.
I don't think we have the moral high ground if these animals are going to slaughter all the people and then each other.
That's also a good point.
No, that's a good point.
Why are we doing this?
Why don't we... So you think they are going...
I think they're going to where the drums are. So I mean, the other option is that we,
Just follow them to the drums.
Yeah.
or even race ahead of them, and then because I mean it's going to be a lot easier to deal with whatever the drum that is happening at the drum site without 30 of the most dangerous animals in Newcastle
Yes,
there
this
as
is
well.
true.
So if we go ahead of them, and we should be able to because there are a bunch of weight characters which should be quite slow.
That's true.
I've had another good idea that could slow them down, and Horned One, you'd be good for this again. Do you know much about wheels and a good way to subtly and quietly break or dismantle them?
Fate pulls out a dagger, twirls it between her fingers, throws it from one hand to another, and sheaths it. Yeah, sure.
That could work. So if I make Fate invisible, perhaps disable a card or two, that'll give us a lot more time to get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
How far does a mage hand go? Because I'm wondering what's under that blanketed cage.
A mage hand, if you were someone who had it, I believe goes 30 feet.
Do we have a sorcerer with one? Or
Arkyan.
Arkyan?
Yeah, I think he does.
yeah.
I don't have his sheet, so I don't know.
So could he
Pretty
get
sure
within
it's
30 feet?
He is hang on, yeah, that's 30 feet. He definitely has it. I know he uses it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do it.
So yeah, we'll just yank off that.
Okay, so I kind of takes a few steps forward.
On whichever side he's going to do this from, I'd like to be on the other side and ready in action to make a really loud sound using minor illusion, like drumming, something very unnatural, in case people start going investigating.
Cool. Okay. So you shift around the back of the party, keeping stealthily. I need you to make a stealth check.
We still have pass without a trace.
You do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have disadvantage.
The guys,
that's still 25.
far out. Sorry, DC 16. So as these guys, they are on the lookout. They're travelling through this place, probably more for animals than people, because people don't usually come this far into a gust. But you can see them watching. And some of the younger ones are having conversations, but some of the older ones look like they've been through this racket too many times and are just kind of like grizzly like watching. But you kind of sneak around the back of the part thing and make your way into like some undergrowth where you can see. And you see Arkyan on the other side just and the black silk gets ripped off, and just for a second, before one of them turns and immediately starts trying to put it back over, you see what looks like a death dog. Rather terrifying and unfeigningly rare creatures from Utgast. These things, you know of them from the stories, were the greatest guard dogs and watchdogs of any species. Usually you'd hear stories of these things adorning the sides of great kings and such. But the actual fact that there's one there, you don't know which corner of the world it's been brought from.
How cute is it?
It's actually pretty cute. It can't overcome its dog-like nature and just be adorable, but it looks like it'd fuck you up.
Yeah.
They kind of like just hurriedly put it back over.
Okay, I make my way back to the group and say perhaps that would be a good thing to cause a distraction, and I doubt they'd want to slay it if it's so rare. The other thing is I could disguise myself as one of the people.
You also did notice, and I think all of you would notice this, that none of the animals in the cages are going crazy like the other animals you've encountered.
Okay.
The only time I've seen that work on an animal was when we silenced that squirrel. Can we hear any of the animals making noises from the outside the cages?
You cannot.
Alright, so silenced or deafened in some way.
These are no ordinary hunters, my friends.
Maybe our best plan is then to disable one of the wagons and then we'll go ahead of them.
I want to use minor illusion to start creating noises out to the side of a wyvern-like nature.
Wyvern, yeah.
Yeah, wyvern, sorry.
Cool.
I'll cast invisibility on Fate
Cool.
and let her go into mess up a couple of wheels.
Cool. So as you kind of like move your hand, the colours just kind of dull and fade, and she almost becomes like a watercolour of her previous self until that kind of just transparently goes through. As you kind of see a few footprints moving away from you, you also kind of feel a slap on your ass, because that's what she'd do. Yeah, and she essentially, after this, you see one of the wagon wheels just kind of and the whole thing goes the cage falls off. Inside it's got one of the not a lion, what's the other one? Tiger. Sabertooth. The guys immediately, it doesn't make any sound as it falls over, but the guys immediately jump and start trying to put it back on the thing and like making sure that it's still still kind of thing. They kind of start doing that to the guys at the front, and eventually the carriages all stop and everyone kind of looks pissed. A few people draw a couple of weapons and wander around.
Does it look like the wheel is actually broken? Like it's not about to move anywhere anytime soon?
It looks like it's just been like the bolt holding it has just been popped off and it's just kind of fallen. They're trying to get it back on, and a couple of guys are just, but it's difficult for them because they're going.
Yeah.
But they go about trying to fix it quite quickly.
So they're not hearing like the distraction noises and
No.
activity noises of like, okay, so I stopped that at some point.
Alright, well, should we raise one ahead?
All things
Yeah, well,
silenced. Yeah.
I'll wave roughly in the direction of where Fate was.
Yeah.
Hope that she sees it and then start moving.
Yeah.
Cool. You feel another smack on your ass as you start moving away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys are going ahead of them.
Yep.
Yep. Following what?
Well, they're travelling on a road, right?
No.
No. Okay. Well,
With carts and so on?
They
Uh,
must
They're
be
going through
past-
dense forest?
Not dense forest. They seem to be going through not overgrown, but the clearer parts.
Okay. But there's no path?
Well, there are. You can see tracks. Like this isn't the first time they've come through this route, but it's not a clear path. This is like undiscovered wilderness in the
But
past.
the tracks are noticeable, obviously?
Yes.
Followable?
Yes, I'd say so. Yes.
Okay, so
That's
follow
right.
the tracks.
Yep.
Okay, as you guys travel south, occasionally looking over your shoulders at great speed, you move as quite quickly as you can down the tracks. I need you to make survival rolls to see if you can follow them.
Okay, I will not follow the tracks or let others do that. Instead, I'll keep watch behind us.
Okay,
17.
16.
cool. You manage to follow. Occasionally, they get on ground where it's not as obvious. The digs in the earth aren't as deep, but you do manage to follow them for quite some time. You can basically follow these for a day or two if you want.
Well,
It's 2 days south.
Okay. After, we'll fast travel. After, there's not much else here. As you follow, the guys eventually do fix their carts and start moving as well. You have the option to stay within sight of them or move as quickly as you possibly can.
thought we move ahead, and they will probably start catching up before dawn.
Okay. As you get through further this way south, and the tracks don't go on a straight line, they kind of find the most logical path. It looks like they've been ridden a few times. But after maybe a day, you get within sight of the Endless Mountain. Aptly named, as it towers and almost blocks out the sun with its height. You can see atop is capped with snow, and the trees that grow upon it in little patches are quite thick. The stones themselves look quite dangerous and precarious. As you come closer, the tracks kind of traveling towards it kind of go around the side, and it's at this point I need you to make another wisdom save, as now audibly you can all hear the drums.
19.
Modify 20.
8.
18.
Cool. Dain, you're the only one that cannot stop it affecting you in such a way that it just feels like every beat is imprinting on you some kind of dark purpose, and you're just... What's your intelligence?
Just a sec. I think it's 12-ish. Yep, 12.
Okay. It doesn't consume you, but you feel its effects. You can audibly hear it in the air. And yeah, it's impossibly loud to travel this far. But I need you to roll perception.
60. 20. Wow.
Net 20.
Worse than that.
As you hear echoing, you try to scan where it's coming from, and buried right into the side of this mountain, it's a small but noticeable gate made of wood beams either side, and from it you can see that's where a very crudely made stone path kind of winds down the side of the mountain. The tracks that you guys have been following leads to the base of this, where it's not a lot of room. These carts would barely fit on this thing, and it goes jaggedly up the rocks at strange angles to the point where you think these guys are probably going to be putting a lot of strength behind the carts. But from this little thing that you can see, and it's way up on the mountain, on the side of the face, it's this little, just wooden, like a mine shaft almost, just wooden beams, and from within, a dark yellowish red glow that kind of flickers like firelight. It's now maybe midnight.
Midnight. Okay. Have we rested between the second carts? Okay, cool. Can we see any torches or any signs of guards on the way up the mountain?
No. You do not see torches nor guards.
Do we hear any signs of the carts?
Behind you? You would assume from how far ahead you were going, they're maybe an hour away.
I think we've got some time to talk with our friends.
Yep. Let's go up.
You have
This
plans?
path looks a little rickety. Why don't we put a few rocks in there? Make it a lot harder.
I like this plan.
Push some boulders down on the way, something like that.
Gently group.
Okay. I assume you guys are doing this stealthily, so please roll stealth.
Net 1.
18.
Okay.
Oh, 13.
Some of you move silently, some of you do not. So what is the plan? Are you loosening some rocks? Are you blocking the path?
So I guess we're travelling up the path, and as we do, we'll drop some boulders down on the path behind us. Because I mean, we don't want them to like fall off the mountain and the animals to die. We want them to be slowed down.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
Ideally, we'd split them up. How spaced were they? Could we push some boulders between two carts, like to cut the convoy in half or something?
Oh, I meant to just put them in a way before they even get here, so that
Yeah.
they'll start climbing and then have to deal with it.
So it
But
gives us
that's
more
also a
time
good idea.
inside.
You just do 2 or 3 of those, and that will take them up for a couple of, at least a day, 2 days.
Depends if we want to delay them or to actually combat them.
Well, if
Or
they're
you just
delayed
want it to
outside,
delay.
we can always combat them.
Yeah.
So I thought we just bite them into manageable chunks by...
Like
using
crushing
boulders.
everything with boulders,
No.
animals and people and everything.
If they're spaced, how far were they spaced?
Sorry, read my notes. The carts from each other,
Yeah.
maybe 10 feet.
We're going through a jungle, so.
Yeah, that's true.
At this point, we just really want to get to
Yeah,
the
I
drums and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. So
I
if-
suggest delay would be better.
Yeah, because I mean, if we do that, we'd have to wait for them on the mountainside,
Yeah.
and then they'd be and
Yep.
so we go.
I'll help delay push all the balls in.
Okay, so roll strength. See if you can chisel away some decent sized rocks to block the path behind you.
I'll assist him to give him advantage.
Okay.
Cool, because I rolled a 4.
I rolled
And
a
a... Oh, that's a 6.
13.
14 for me.
Actually, no, it's a 15.
Working together, yeah, sure. You manage to pound some more of these more like jutted parts of the mountain. However, you guys do realize you're making quite a bit of noise. And eventually, sweat on your brow, muscles aching, you finally hit it enough that the rock splits like, I don't know, an angry toddler crushing an ice cube, and it just kind of...
I do have masonry tools.
Oh, okay, so it's more like ding, ding, ding. But eventually, yeah, you guys, I would say, yeah, managed to block this path rather efficiently. And from your partner, you're maybe about halfway up the first kind of chunk of mountain, still away from the door, but certainly far enough. You can see the tracks. You can see, yeah, if they come this way, they will be stopped at this point. However long it takes them to clear it is unsure, but yeah.
Cool. I guess we just keep going up the path and go look at that door.
Okay. Can you all roll athletics and stealth?
Oh boy, that's a 1 and a 3. So athletics is 8, stealth is 5.
19 athletics, stealth 10.
Oh, actually, it's
11.
10 athletics and 21 for stealth.
Okay.
Guys, wait up!
Yeah.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Some of you nearly get a point of exhaustion as you climb this unforgiving mountain. And it takes a couple of hours at least to get near the door. So it's now maybe 2, 3 in the morning. You guys are physically worn, sweat pour. None of you try to show this at all. You're all kind of fine. And then when people aren't looking after, no, I'm good, let's keep going. The drum is now extremely loud, but you get within maybe 30 feet of the door. It takes 4 hours, I'd say, to climb the side of this. Very nearly a point of exhaustion. But 30 feet away, and now you can hear it loudly and reverberating to the point where stones are just kind of falling off the path of the mountain and tumbling endlessly down the sides.
Can we see the carts?
Yeah, at this point, yeah, because they would have been a couple of hours. So yeah, in fact, they came from the woods into the clearing around the base of the mountain. It is at that point they saw you with some of your self rolls, but could do little else other than continue on their way. They move completely silently, but as they get to the boulder, they're still trying to work that away. You now stand between a blocked off path, behind which a group of maybe 30 men who have seen you, and an open door carved into the side of a mountain.
To the door, I guess.
To the door.
You get closer and the sound is now intensifying. As you get to the entrance itself, you peer around, peer back. You see nothing but a path deeply carved into the very living rock that travels inside, and quite an extensive blast of heat as well.
We can't see the source of light at this point. We can just feel heat and then see an orange glow.
The path itself travels for quite some time down like a corridor, and it looks like at the end it opens up into something, but because of it, you can only see the end of the corridor.
Shaking this door's too heavy to shut, is it?
It's not even. There's no shut. It's just carved into the side.
Oh, the entry or something.
Yeah.
I'm worried we might get stuck in there with 30 people plus whoever's inside.
Can we search around for back entrances or anything like that?
The path itself leads to this.
And that's it?
Yeah.
What other option do we have? Exactly.
Yeah, I'll just try to fall into it.
Yeah, I guess we just have to go and hopefully we can deal with what is inside before
Okay.
those people catch up with us.
Alright, I suggest a couple of sneaky people go forward.
Okay.
Fate, I suggest. And ooh, can you check? Please confirm.
This confirmed 20.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, there are no guards on this door, and as you stealthily kind of move low into the side, you manage to move without very much sound. Once you get about 10 feet in, you hear click, and you notice to the side, inlaid in the rock, there's a bird in a cage. As you click, you look down and see this string. From within the cage, a small vial of oil pours, heated oil, onto the bird, and the bird starts and flittering around the cage. The sound now trying to rival the drum beat, but essentially travels down the corridor.
And that was on a natural 20.
Wow. Well, I mean, it was a stealth, not checking for traps.
Yeah.
How far ahead are these
Got
guys?
a freaking rogue with me!
How far ahead of us? Tin cans where the quiet ones walking?
10, 15 feet.
Well, I guess there's no point in stealth now. Should we just rush, move forward quicker?
Yeah. Then
All right.
we're here behind and
Let's
ahead
just
of us.
rush into the lair there. That sounds like a great plan.
Yes.
Yep, let's do this.
Sounds like a job for a paladin, right?
Yeah, I
By the way.
endorse this plan.
Oh god.
I'll trundle with purpose.
Okay. As you rush forward, given up on any abandon, the sound of the squawking birds behind you, the sound of the drum beats in front of you, you run through this this what's it called? Cabin. And when you get to the end of where the corridor leads, you're now in this massive expanse that has been carved within the walls of this mountain. I suppose you don't need to roll perception. Along the sides of all this cabin are scaffolds. And scaffolds are orcs, goblins, hobgoblins, and kind of chipping away at the rock, seemingly expanding what is inside this place. The bridges themselves weave as almost like a matrix, and the streets are alive with creatures. In fact, in front of you there are small bits that have been small sections of city, essentially, all with these branches of very poorly constructed bridges that are just rope with wood kind of planks and that kind of thing. Running straight towards you, maybe 5 hobgoblins with small spears and swords just coming after the sound of the birds squawking. The sound of the drum beat is being amplified greatly by the caverns of this space. It's coming from somewhere within here, but you're not entirely sure. You do also see a couple of levels down. There are carts being moved along, full of gold coins and platinum coins, like massive carts, fake kind of. You also see a whole bunch on the other side of what look like chained humans. You recognise a couple of like blacksmith aprons made of leathers and such, all kind of tied. And that kind of just being poked and prodded as they're chained to walls, and some of them are being moved into caverns that go into little corridors that disappear into the mountain.
As these hobgoblins are running to us, can I see any markings, any like clan insignia or anything that identifies them?
No, in fact they're only really wearing crudely made armors, the lowest of quality you've seen in quite some time.
Okay, I put my hand on Dain to hold him back for a second and step forward ready to talk to them.
Okay.
I'm not drawing my weapon.
Okay. And one of them, the largest one, kind of pushes his way to the front and pulls out a spear.
Oh, you maggots! Down there! There's something blocking the fucking road! Go down there and help him!
Okay, roll some deception.
Okay. 18.
Shit, man, that's what I rolled. So it succeeds, just. What? Who?
Do you know how much a panther is fucking worth? And a death dog.
No.
Boss won't want to hear that slate, will he?
Oh, fuck! No!
Go on!
Come on! And they all push their way past you. And yeah, off they go, behind you guys, you hear as they disappear and travel down the roads.
Cool. I'm going to take a quick peek at any other orcs and see if I see any clan insignia on them at all.
Roll some insight.
Okay.
Other
Natural 20.
Nice.
Any other animals around in view? Or are they all
Yeah,
chained
no,
up?
about 3 levels down there's a group of caged creatures.
Caged creatures.
Um,
I'm just thinking a little bit of something else to add to the atmosphere. I'm thinking, do we have any chain or collar or something could be placed on, say, a bear?
Ooh,
That's a great idea.
that's a great idea.
Orthanc, you notice that all of them have had carved from about here to here, going right through their eye, like just to either side. Yeah, quite a deep gash.
That's
Uniformly made on all.
kind of similar to me. I might be able to fit in here.
But no chains from me. Does anybody have?
I've got rope. That's not really going to hold a bear.
The sound of this place is quite something. Over the sound of the cavernous drums, you just hear squawks and shouts and things getting poked and trundling carts and rock occasionally falling as the scaffolds are working away at digging deeper into this place.
I'm still thinking an animal subservient to an orc would fit in here very well.
Yeah. We need to get off the road first of all.
Yeah.
But the orc, I think, do I recognize that at all?
Roll insight.
Okay. 9.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like someone's taken a blade to each of their faces. And
That was a punishment inflicted upon me. I wonder if this is some kind of new clan insignia. Grumsh is the one eye, the orc god. Perhaps this is a mark of him.
Are they cutting out their eye, or is it just a scar
no, just
around the eye?
a scar around the eye. They still have use of
Still have
both
vision.
eyes. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a clear leader we can see as well?
It looks like every group there's a leader. It looks like over the groups of hobgoblins there's usually a larger orc who's kind of overseeing and making them do certain things. It's hard to tell too much because of the sound. Obviously, you don't hear them talking. You just hear squawks and scribbles and mumbles. But yeah, it looks highly militarized in the sense that there are officers that retain some kind of order of chain of command and that kind of thing.
Right. Sorry, go ahead.
Do the officers have any sort of identifying feature, or is it just noise?
It's generally most of what seem to be the workers and such are the smaller creatures, the imps, the goblins, the hobgoblins.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are doing the telling are orcs.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not like any badges or uniforms or anything
No,
like that?
no.
Okay.
And all of these creatures are wearing, well, I'd say 90% of them are wearing very crude armours, but the orcs are wearing slightly better armours.
Right, okay.
Okay. While we're in here, I'm going to do a cheeky disguise self to make my scar and eye look identical
Cool.
to the others.
Yeah.
And
Essentially, you just make the wound look a bit straighter and a bit fresher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think a bear will work. We don't have chains, but perhaps a rope on an aggressive panther might work, or something like that.
That would work well. Yep. Can do.
You guys have very little time as you see another group of hobgoblins coming towards you on the one bridge that leads into this place.
Panthered.
Cool. Shapeshifts into a panther. I imagine you get a rope around its neck as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'll hand the rope to one of these guys, and I'll start walking ahead.
Cool. And towards the goblins, hobgoblins you go, as another group kind of stops and just says, "Where are the rest?"
Stuck down the fucking hill. I told the others.
Sorry. Hurry up! Sorry, sir! And they run around you. You guys make it to what is the central platform, where all the other kind of streets. And as you get there, a larger orc kind of steps forward. Take them down.
All right. Start walking past and heading down.
You realise you don't know which path leads down.
I'll just pick one.
Just pick one at random.
Yeah.
Okay, there's 5 leading from this platform. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one do you go?
I can't see anything clearly beyond them. They're just like
They kind of go into the side of the mountain.
Okay. If we're kind of in a central open area,
Yeah.
can I see anyone walking across the way that seems to have come from a similar path?
Roll perception.
Okay. 14.
Yeah. Okay. So 4th bridge.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Cool. You guys feel the heat inside this place as intensifies as you get through. Beads of sweat and stuff. Looking around, you kind of as you push this panther through the streets, as you kind of wandering carefully, and you're kind of just hoping that the minor illusion works as you walk around. You see the crude nature of this place, the brutality, the cruelty of it, as you see whenever a hobgoblin drops an item, a pick or whatever, they are largely punished for that. And I mean, they also look like they've been working tirelessly, whatever they're doing. They've been doing it for days on end. You kind of see they're weak, and occasionally one will just fall out of exhaustion. The orc will kick it a few times, and if it does not stand back up, he picks it and just throws it off down into the darkness. The sound of the drum is so perfectly reverberated in this place. Every kind of beat just echoes and bounces back onto each other and emanates throughout. The cages that you see down below, the ones that are not guarded by the men that were carrying it, are mostly just going completely wild, completely crazy. As you travel through into one of the caverns, it leads into more crudely made parts of this mountain, but the scaffolds either side as you walk are trying to slowly, kind of chip that away, and it looks like this place is in the process of being made. It's not quite done yet, whatever it is. Can I have everyone roll insight, please?
10.
8.
Cool, good to know. You travel down, and eventually you get to a point where the path doubles back, and you find yourself on the second layer. More hobgoblins rushing around. Below you, you now see a cart full of platinum being pushed into a cavern. And we're talking like large, and we're talking like maybe that much platinum.
Okay. Is there a clear intent to what the scaffolding and building is going towards at this point? Is it like clearing out the inside of the mountain, or is something being constructed? Or?
So it looks like at the moment it seems to be following almost a pattern, and that it kind of juts out at certain angles.
Mm-hmm.
But it also looks like they're just trying to expand as well, whatever they're doing.
Okay.
More land.
I'll walk around the group and stop everyone, yell a few insults in Orcish, and then as I walk past, I will say, "What the fuck do we do now?"
I think our main thing needs to be finding what's the drum and putting a stop to that.
Yeah.
And then potentially freeing some of these slaves.
Okay.
Well, freeing the animals could be a diversion
Yeah.
to get to the drum.
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
Let's
but
find the
it
drum
goes back
first.
to the point of before. If we just release them, they're just going to tear into each other because they're just going to take the first things they see. So I think we need to do the drums first, and then maybe to escape, we can release the animals and. Rawr. That's it. Yeah. So I guess we need to figure out a way of finding out where this drum is. Because you said that it's basically because of the sound of it, we can't really tell by sound where it's coming from.
It'd be very difficult to do so, yeah.
Right.
Because it's just bouncing back and going and reverbing so well.
Does anyone have any leather, like animal skin, animal hide, anything like that?
Well, technically.
Anything that's separated? No? Okay. I have only vague, stupid plans.
Those are the best kinds.
Is there some random scrap leather from, or even a dead little goblin we could take the clothes off his back?
You could totally find a dead goblin, yeah.
Okay.
Or even a live one we can just steal it from.
Yeah.
The idea is if we get a piece of tanned leather, we can say we're here to repair the drum. It's a classic one.
That's how I can, yeah.
Alright?
Mm-hmm.
Let's scavenge around for a bit of animal flesh.
You guys move and are largely non-considered by most of the people here. Most of the people here are just doing their job. And they kind of glance over and see you, and they see a couple of ones that don't quite fit, the ones with armors and such. But they are not going to say anything, because they're just there to follow their master's orders. So you're allowed to travel freely as much as you can within this place. And certainly after a while you find a couple of corpses of these hobgoblins who have just been worked to death.
Alright, someone want to skin them quickly?
But they're not wearing...
I don't think we're going to be able to like take a bloody thing of like hobgoblin's gun and then...
What is the drum going to be made of? It's going to have leather over it.
Yeah.
This could be an ancient drum, for all we know, that isn't made of ragged leather.
Yeah.
Yes, that's quite true.
So I thought we just confidence our way into the drum.
And we don't know where it is. We'd have to say,
Oh,
where is the drum? I know where it is.
why don't we just say like that? You're obviously a bard. You're an expert on musical instruments. Just say we're here to repair the drum. Point us in that direction.
The other problem is that they're going to say, can't you hear the drum? It's working fine, which is what the other thing I'm worried about.
Well, that's when you say, well, can't you? Clearly it's off key, or
I'm not pissed off enough.
and impress them with your musical knowledge, and and
You
say
should be more angry.
Yeah.
Rawr.
This tiger's not even mauling anyone.
You know what? I'm gonna wait until we come across an area that doesn't have a orc or someone clearly watching it, and just wrench one of the like small goblins away from the others.
Okay.
And then just start walking off with him and the group.
So, scanning around, you see that at a certain point there is a small raggedy path, just basically wood planks on two strips of rope. And there are a couple of hobgoblins just running back and forth occasionally, carrying small gems.
Okay.
Yeah, largely unwatched. You kind of sneak forward, and as one of them is just kind of scuttling past you with a small diamond in its hand, you just pick it up. Sorry, I was going as fast as I could.
Boy, Maggot, you're coming with me.
Please, I didn't do anything wrong. See, I found one.
If you do what I say, and quickly, you can go back to work. I won't cut your eyes out.
Okay, sure. Please.
You see these? These are beautiful ears, aren't they?
Yeah, beautiful, lovely, wonderful.
Now, I can tell there's something going on with the drum, and it needs repairing. Your filthy little fucking hobgoblin ears probably can't tell. But I don't know where the drum is. So you take me there, then you fuck off.
Okay.
No one dies.
Cool. Okay. Sure. This way.
And I drop him on the ground.
And he just runs. This way.
Okay.
Through he leads you. You go down about 4 more levels. As the rest of the party in tow, you still in panther form, as the panther follows with you as well. And again, the first couple of levels you ascend, you get pay no mind. People kind of let you go. Occasionally, as you get to some of the lower levels, people kind of watch. You can now see these guys are a bit more senior. Kind of one of the orcs kind of steps forward. He's got like matted skin and just dark, like almost dreadlocks. Of just like a few mats of hair that don't even look like it's his own. It looks like he's just slaughtered someone and stuck their scalp to his head.
Oh, Jesus.
And he kind of just walks up.
Uncle Rico? Yeah.
I'm gonna, if he's clearly trying to talk to me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna indicate to the others to keep walking, swear at them, and then wait for him to talk to me.
Okay. You guys, I want to see. He's not going to let you pass. Puts up both hands, and the goblin kind of ducks behind you, and he just points to the door that these guys are guarding. And then turns and runs.
Okay, he's gone.
Matted scalp guy comes up with a sword in his hand, and he kind of digs it into the earth, digs it into the wood in front of you, and it breaks one of the small planks. I don't remember seeing you on this level.
How close are we to the edge of the cliff?
Oh. At this point, it's one of the small hubs. It's mainly just a couple of crates and stuff. You actually see like what look like, what are they called? Like drumsticks with big padded stuff on the end, and a couple of drums, a couple of crates, and it leads to a door behind him. He's maybe 10 feet from the edge of this thing.
Okay. I'll say, Gorstag sent me, and I walk to the cliff and point down to one of the lower ledges. And then I fucking shove the shit out of
Roll a
them.
strength.
Athletics for
Athletics?
a shove attack?
Yeah, athletics.
Because athletics is what I can do. Oh, please, above 4.
I'll tell you. Yeah, I won't tell you what the DC is.
It is above 4. It's a 5, but it goes up to 12.
That's amazing. The DC,
Yep.
what he rolled,
Yep.
and that one and tumbled.
Yes!
I like that. I'm pretty sure you just like pointed down and he was like, oh, okay, and then he just traps himself.
I turn around and if there's anyone watching, I go, stupid git, and I spit down, and then we keep walking, and I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck.
A couple of the hobgoblins, I mean, they look from the higher level, because the sound does not travel past the next level above you.
Yeah.
And the sound, as he tumbles into the darkness, the last thing you see is just his fearful eyes as he's plunged into shadow, and he just kind of, as he disappears, and a couple of goblins look over the side as you and go back, working even more tirelessly now for fear that nicely done.
Thank you.
And towards the door you get. This is where the drumbeat is loudest. I need you all to make a wisdom save.
I'd also like to whisper to our little panther friend that now might be a good time to not be a panther.
12.
His intelligence is the same.
But people are suspecting animals up here.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Right. Okay, yep. So, gnomish myself, because that's not conspicuous. What does that roll end up being?
Dain,
11.
would you be able to grab my coffee plunger, please? Thank you.
Oh, I'll get it.
Oh, thank you, Ben. I didn't see you there. So as you're behind my DM screen. You're behind my DM screen, though. So as you guys come towards these doors, the only doors you've seen in this place. Very finely crafted black metal with kind of gold inlays. Looks like recently installed. This is like the pounding sound of the drums. Thank you very much. Is nearly too much to block out. The walls themselves, even though the walls of a great mountain, are shaking with each note of this drum, and it's this horribly old music, and you just kind of feel like Orthanc. You remember a bar fight that you were in many years ago, and it got to a point where this guy nearly pummeled you to death, and something switched inside you. The survival instinct kicked in, and you kind of managed to fight back. Gorstag, you remember. Actually, you remember Al, and you get a sense of how you would do anything for her, kind of thing. It's that same kind of instinct that now kind of just comes up in your emotions. Dain, you think of the glory of battle, and the fact that one day good will win over the evil, and that excites you, but to excite you to a point where you're almost just like ready to fight anyone. You know, you're just thrilled by the idea of battle. Shiver, this affects you less than it does your compadres, as you've lived very peacefully most of your life. But you also consider the swiftness that an animal can strike and take down an opponent if it, if it affects or threatens the way of harmony and light. And you kind of get that sense in your mind of just like the snapping of a snake, or a wolf just kind of gnashing at a hand that gets darted away. That kind of power starts playing in your mind. Fate, you can see, is almost completely consumed by this, as is Arkyan. They kind of even do that a few times. The door itself is locked.
Fate.
Wait. Can we hear anything else on the other side of the door except the drums?
Just the drums.
Yeah.
See if we can get it work.
Cool, alright. Wait. Hang on. Fuck.
Come on, one.
Nearly got it. The drum beat emanates now at a pace and a sound level that is unable. You can't even think at this point. There's just noise and music, and it's just beating at you, and this huge wave of heat comes out, and you just hear. And that's where we're going to take a quick break. As you find your ways deep into the endless mountain, faced by the impenetrable, horribly dark drumbeat that now you find yourselves almost face to face with. As for you guys out there, we're just going to refresh our drinks. I'm going to make more coffee. What time is it? Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to.
It's 10:00.
Cool, that's fine. Yeah. So, thanks for coming along. We'll be back in like 10 minutes. Make sure you go grab some grapes and mutton and crumpets. And duck confit with broccoli rabe, if you have those things, or just chips, that's good as well. Do we?
I'm just gonna go on break.
Okay, let's just go on break. We'll be back in like 10 minutes. Come back and watch the exciting conclusion of Black Winter Night.
Back.
Oh, hello. Welcome back to Black Winter Nights. How you going, Leonard? Good to see you. Sorry, I just got given some delicious jerky by the Jerky Brothers.
The Jerky Brothers?
Well, Three Wise Jerks, rather. Sorry, I was so taken by surprise. Three Wise Jerks, who is Dave's company that makes very, very delicious jerky. I believe this is Cajun that I'm trying now, or is it normal? Yeah, it is Cajun, yeah. It's one of the perks of living here. Occasionally I get free jerky. So, Tim...
Better replacement, yeah.
Yeah, Tim has...
I have to pay for it, so
it's not really free, but...
free for you.
Free for me. Tim, unfortunately, was feeling quite sick, so he was wild shaped into a dinosaur for the rest of the session. That's actually Clarence. He was given to me by dear friend Haley as a flatwarming gift. He's going to be Tim for now. But yeah.
I shouldn't have given you the jerky.
Yeah, sorry. We're going to dive back into tonight's session. So, hang on. I got something suitably.
It's too relaxing.
Yeah, it's far too relaxing. I'm gonna know that. I keep biting my lip. Okay. Hang on. Sorry. Hang on, there we go. That one. Cool, so the party has just, with the use of Fate's lock-picking skills, unlocked the doors to this cavern. Before you can do much else, behind you, you see a spark in the air of blue and white energy. Like a very tiny firework. Is there anything like that?
Like behind us the way we came.
Correct.
Do I recognize that?
Roll whatever you want to.
Arcana?
Arcana, yeah.
14?
Yes, in fact, you recognize the spell immediately. And just as you do, it activates as this door appears, dimension door.
Oh boy.
Through its steps. An elven figure who immediately runs to Shiver. And Shiver goes, "Ark, yes. Fire silence has been called. Emergency meeting of the 8 Druid circles." And Shiver goes, "With my friends. We have to go now." And he grabs him, pulls him through the dimension door, and it vanishes.
Fuck.
You're now without your druid.
Wow.
That was unexpected. So what's in the room itself? What do we see? What do we see in the?
So, peering down the corridor that leads into this room, can I get some perception rolls? Essentially, the first thing you notice is the heat coming from this room.
17.
7.
Orthanc, you're the one with the keenest eyes, and as you peer down, you can see quite a grand room. Of course, you can only see through the keyhole of the end of the corridor. But in the centre of this room is a drum. The drum is maybe 50 feet wide, and around is 15 hobgoblins, each with a drumstick in each hand, simultaneously beating out the pattern. Behind that, you see steps.
Are they... Is there a leader? And are they reacting to us at all?
You're going to have to get closer to figure that out. You're still at the door.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I mean, I guess move closer to them, see if we can see anyone else in the room.
Yeah, I kind of want to know what's up the stairs, because I feel like once we slaughter these hobgoblins, it'll be very noticeable.
Alright, Paladin of Vengeance. Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. This door was locked though. Were the stairs the way we're going or the way we've just come from?
The stairs are on the other side of the drum in the room.
Alright, okay.
Yep.
Still want to go past?
Yeah, I think so. At least we can see if we can get an idea what's above them before we. Because I mean, once the drums stop, everyone in this entire place is going to notice.
Okay. Falling behind me then. Let me do the talking.
I suspect there's an Ogre King beyond these stairs.
I fucking hope not. Alright, let's start walking in. I'm
So-
gonna go like I own the place the whole time.
Okay. Roll some deception just for the way you walk.
Okay. Oh boy, that's a whopping 8.
Every step that you take, you try and step with an air of confidence. I own this place. I'm within this place. I am part of this place. But every time you step, you are faltered by the intensifying of this drum beat, which is now getting very loud within your mind. I need you to make a wisdom save. as you get closer, and the heat is now intensifying as you walk down this corridor, almost as if it's been concentrated in this room, emanating from Orthanc, who punches the wall as he walks, I'm guessing, with that look.
There was a 13.
Okay, it's taking over, but it's not consuming, as you just kind of... Stupid drums. Who built this place? Fucking hobgoblins. Hate those things. More steps forward, more steps forward. You enter the room. The room is golden and beautiful, and it's got inlaid statues and the archways that are across this room. And you can see it's all been built in infinitely, not infinitely, but repeating kind of concave shapes that look like canonically it's just been intensifying, perfectly echoing this beat.
Right.
And as you get towards the end of the cavern, you realise that this entire mountain and everything within it is being built like a giant instrument, all to take this one echoing sound from this room and spread it out throughout the world. You kind of walk, and you're now having to do this a bit as the beat is just so intensifyingly loud, and you use to roll some religion.
Let's say 19.
You immediately get the sense of celestial energy, the energy of the gods as you walk within this thing. You actually almost falter and fall slightly as this drum beat is now pounding within you, and you see the light of a god, in fact, shining as if emanating from the drum itself, but it's not the light of Pelor. In fact, can you roll history?
Yes, that is a 12.
Immediately you recognise that the instrument itself is what's causing the arcana to burst from this room. The instrument itself is the drum of the war god Dain, plucked from the celestial kingdoms and seemingly landed in the mortal realm. It's the instrument of war. It's the drum that creates the sound that causes armies to fight, that causes men to slay each other in battle, that causes blood shed on the fields, that causes turmoil, the rising and falling of kings. The turnings of all the great histories come from this beat, this ancient primordial beat. The one that's been within the heart of every man and woman from early times of clawing out of the oceans, and that built nefarious plots and such throughout the courses of the world. The instrument of a god. You can now see the stairs that lead up to the throne.
No leader that we can see, just a whole lot of hobgoblins having a good time wailing on the drum.
Except for the stairs that lead up to the throne.
Okay.
Sitting there, either side, two chained death dogs. And what you would only assume to be the Ogre King. Huge bloated face, dark green and brown skin, massive hands, almost impossibly large, curled on the sides of this throne. And he's just kind of smiling as the sound of the drum beats intensifies. The hobgoblins themselves just working tirelessly, 15 of them just simultaneously beating this ancient sound. You've not been noticed.
Okay. So we've got this big room, the drum in the centre, the goblin, the ogre king with dogs beside him, and the stairs are nearby?
The stairs lead up to the throne.
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay. And there are no other exits from this room?
From this point, you can't really tell.
What does the drum look like it's made out of? Like the thing that the hobgoblins are bashing on?
So the base of it is wood inlaid with gold, and it looks almost like the bark of a ghost tree, which you believe to only grow within the petrified forest in the south. The skin itself looks like the skin of a unicorn.
Oh. Does it look flammable at all?
Does it look flammable?
Yeah, just out of curiosity.
Certainly, yeah. It's made of wood and animal skin. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Good to know. So
I imagine we can like barely hear each other talking.
Yeah.
Very barely.
Yeah.
We should back the fuck up and talk about what we want to do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna like start shuffling backwards.
Okay. And as you do, you're kind of looking around at your fellow party members, and you're just thinking to yourselves, "Fuck, I hate his face. God, that's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen," kind of thing. You can't help but overcome the rage of this thing. But yeah, you make your way back through the thing to the what is now unguarded, as the man had been pushed over the side, little precipice. However, you're not sure how long this will remain empty. And above you, the catacombs, the weaving bridges, are still alive with hobgoblins, humans, and orcs and such, bringing in creatures and gold and all that kind of thing.
Right. we've got Big Fatty up there with a couple of dogs.
Yep.
I can silence the area. I won't get the whole room. I can get maybe half the room.
Yep.
I can do that up by the Ogre King. That'll stop us wanting to try and kill each other, which sounds pretty good to me. And then what do we want to do? Do we want to chop some heads?
I mean, that is an option as well. The other option is we destroy the drum first, and that will get rid of the need for a silence. Because then with the silence we can't hit spells, etc.
That's a good point.
And as thinking, due to the flammable nature of it, we have some people who can produce flames. So we do that, stop the drum going on, kill the ogre, leave. As simple as that. I'm sure it'll be that simple.
I'm sure it'll be that simple. Giant old drum of gods. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I'd been hoping he'd be snoozing, but it seems like he's not going to.
Quite loud in there.
Yeah.
It's like when you know, back in the day, when you fell asleep watching a VHS tape, and then it gets to the end where
Oh god!
you could try and fall asleep in this room, but
And I imagine the hobbies will keep bashing on that drum as it burns until the skin breaks, because they don't want to get killed.
How many hobby gobbies were there?
15.
15. In 6 seconds, how many can you hit them?
Probably not any.
I mean, I can stick an axe in the drum and that might tear the skin on the top and that might have some effect, but I'm not going to be any use for burning it.
We've got Arkyan who can set it on fire.
What does everyone else do then?
I assume we either start killing hobgoblins or start killing the ogre king.
I think we just try and intimidate the hobgoblins personally.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we try and fight them, they'll just swarm over us and get in the way.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be kind of hard to intimidate them away with the ogre king right there though.
I think if we start swinging at him, they might run.
Yeah.
Maybe at us, who knows.
Yep. So I mean, I don't know. I think destroying the drum idea has a lot of merit as well. So do we want to do that first, or it's because then it'll make fighting the ogre king easier? I imagine.
If that doesn't, sorry, go ahead.
If we decide we want to run away from the Ogre King, it'll be nice that we've already destroyed his drum.
Yeah, exactly. At least we'll achieve something if we need to run away.
Okay. If the drum isn't destroyed, straight off the bat, then I will cast Silence.
Yeah, no, that's good. I agree. So should we get Arkyan to try and set it on fire?
Yeah,
Good
I'll
stuff.
try hack at it.
Yep.
I'll buff my sword, and then I can throw a javelin.
Cool.
Are you at the drum?
Drum.
Okay.
Cool. Well,
What are you going to do?
I don't have any particularly restricted skills that will be aided in destroying the drum, unfortunately.
Are there any torches nearby?
In the room they're up. Nearby? No, you'd have to travel up to another level, a level above.
I do actually have candles with me, so I could do it with a candle, I guess, but it's not quite as not quite the same. I'll let you guys focus on destroying the drums. I might try and scare the hobgoblins away with like thaumaturgy, things like that.
Okay.
Make
sounds
the
good.
yeah.
That'd be hard if the drum's really loud. Okay.
Yeah, true.
Otherwise, you can always give it a smack with us.
Yeah.
Arkyan's human, so even though the rest of us have dark vision, right? Doesn't he have to have a torch? So he probably has one in his bag.
It's not dark in the. I mean, there've been it's been lit on the way up, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, has it?
Well, he might have one in his backpack.
Oh, in his backpack. Yeah, totally. Okay.
I don't know.
But I mean, he can.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I don't think because it's just whatever you start with, like starting equipment. I think most of those explorer packs and stuff do come with torches.
I mean, I can grab a torch then if there. I assume somebody would have one in their pack because there are at least a few explorers packs around, right? Alright, well I'll do that and I'll light that and try and set the drum on fire with that as well.
Alright, I'll go in and give it a smack, and then presumably some dogs will come running at us.
Yeah, and
We'll give them a smack.
Yeah, they'll give everything else a smack. We are strategists.
Give them 20 fucking whacks. Alright. Let's do this. And I pull my axe out and start running.
Cool. And I'll, get Arkyan to fire a bolt of fire or whatever at the drum.
Okay.
There's a sacred weapon on my maul.
Okay. The party makes their way barreling down the corridor towards the lair of the Ogre King. As you make your way, doof, doof, the sound of metal on metal and swords in the air you can't overcome the cacophony of the drum, but you certainly feel the energy as you all run down this corridor. And as soon as you break through and into the room, the goblins kind of watch, confused and terrified, but keep drumming. And the Ogre King simply and stands. You can see that on one hand he's got this beautiful platinum armor that just kind of just up to his elbow on one of his hands, beautifully crafted with long claws on each of the fingers, and you can see bits of inlaid gold. You'd assume some kind of elven make. And around his neck he's got this beautiful necklace with a giant crystal, a giant diamond in the centre with sapphires on either side, which looks slightly out of place for an Ogre King, but he wears that, adorns his neck. Again, very finely crafted, probably elven as well, and worth, Fate would realise, several thousand gold pieces at least at face value. Kind of stands. New friends! And rolled a hit.
Okay.
So you've got a high AC because it's a drum.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Crit that drum.
As the Half-Orc, I do extra damage on a crit as well.
Fantastic. So immediately you just run straight towards the drum, not even focusing too much on the Ogre King, who now stands at the base of his throne. The Death Dog's now snapping at his side. And you just come straight forward. And with a nat 20, as you bring down the hammer, you feel immediately this barrier of resistance around the drum, celestial energy. But you kind of just push your weapon further, like two opposing magnets, through the very air of this thing, and with great strength, fortitude, charisma, wisdom, intelligence, dexterity, and strength.
And handsomeness.
You manage to just cut right into the centre, and as the strings break and the hide of the unicorn splits, there's this piercing sound that just starts echoing through the cavern, and the drum beat is replaced as the hobgoblins are now like hitting as the silk of the drum kind of just falls, and they just realise there's nothing more to hit. There's this ear-splitting sound. The Ogre King goes, "No!" And then it fills, and your brains nearly break, and the sound of this piercing thing is like 10,000 nails on a chalkboard as it just screeches inside your minds for a good 30 seconds as you can't move, and the reverberating sound is too much, and it's just intense, and then silence. And then silence. As the last echoes of the screech bounce around the walls. Not only do you feel the silence emanating from this place, you feel a wave of calm that follows. And Gorstag, you just get kind of this vision of animals all across the forests, running with fury, that just are now freed from the spell of the drum. And there's just this beautifulness that restores. You can just feel it outside, through the hills, through the forests. Calm and harmony once more has been restored. But you don't have much more time to think as the Ogre King now steps down. And it's at this point that everyone to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Are y'all ready for this?
Probably not.
6.
18.
Hang on. I have to now move into battle mode. Alright. So the Ogre King himself is probably the ugliest creature you've seen, I'd say ever, as he kind of walks with this horrible wobble of his just overhanging belly. Excuse me for one sec. The heat in this room, you're not sure what's causing it, but man, it's intense. If you've ever been locked in a sauna, this is very much like that. Okay, give me a sec.
Do you remember where Centre is?
Yes, I do. Just gonna pull out one of these. All right.
Hopefully it has been locked in a sauna.
I've been in a sauna, I've never been locked in a sauna.
Come on.
Hasn't got up yet.
You just move that speaker off.
This one?
Yeah, just put it like.
Cool. Okay, so I need my black marker, which was there. Oh wait, no, I put it over here. Don't I? There it is. All right.
You're the worst enemy.
So in here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50. This is the drum in the center of the room. Now split across the middle. This is where you guys had entered.
Off it. Right over there, son.
this is where the Ogre King sits. Okay, allow me. The Ogre King. And 5 party members.
He's just that calm after the gun.
Unfortunately, this occurred sooner than I thought it would. I was going to pick up that Ogre King miniature at the swap meet. But we've got, that will be you, Mr. Orthanc, having split the drum.
Cool.
We will have Gorstag, we will have Dain, and we'll have Arkyan and Fate. Cool. Now, I am going to put you guys in the initiative order. Let me just grab some paper.
And while I adjust this.
And while he adjusts that. Fantastical. So, the couple of the hobgoblins taking the lead from the Ogre King are going to try and attack as well. And the Ogre King will be the cloud dice. 13 and 16. Alright. So, 25 to 20. Okay, 15 to 20.
Do you want to roll for Arkyan and Fate as
I
well?
do want to roll for Arkyan. Arkyan, Fate.
I had an 18.
Okay. Arkyan, Fate. So 19.
18.
18, okay. Sweet, so Gorstag will be in the top of the initiative. And you are V. Alright, 19. 15 to 20. No, okay, so that would be the goblins. Goblins there. They will be a purple. So we'll say G on this side here. Fantastic. Okay. After them will be Fate. Represented by the U. Cool. After that, we have the Goblin King, the Ogre King, sorry, himself. May God have mercy on your souls. Cool. And then, okay, so 5 to 10, or 10 to 15?
14.
14. Cool. Okay. And you are D. 13? 14.
14.
14. And Dain.
6.
6. Okay, cool. So after that is Arkyan, who is represented by the J. And then Dain, represented by the T. Fantastic. Sorry, what was yours again?
6.
6. So, fantastico, fantastico, fantastico. Allow me to just put some things over here. That's alright, we don't need those. Awesome. So,
You need to get you another desk.
yeah. So as the Ogre King, no, and he points to his hobgoblins on the left side of the drum. Attack. It's Gorstag at this moment over here, who sees the flash, the light of power enters you, and suddenly you're gifted with a chance of perfect sight as you kind of realize, okay, I can move faster with the light of power with me. Time to attack.
So so is that like, is the purple square, is that a group of hobgoblins? Or?
Correct. They'll be acting as a
Alright.
as a unit.
Yeah.
How many of the hobgoblins?
Actually, they won't be
pick
acting
up
as
on?
a unit. They're going to act at the same time, but they're going to act individually.
Yeah.
Just to make it easier for rolls and stuff. Cool.
Alright, cool. So there's there's five.
There's 5 that are currently have been told to attack.
Ah, right. That's
The
it.
rest are kind of like waiting and lying in wait. I'm just going to get some appropriately cool battle music.
I hate to make this harder for us, but are the dogs in the fray as well?
Nah, the dogs are chained at this time.
Okay. I'm alright with that.
Maybe the good boys just want to help us.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
It's dogs. Just misunderstood.
Yeah. Bad branding problem.
I think I'll walk over to basically the closest hobgoblin to me.
What's your movement?
30.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, yep.
And I'm just going to do an Elisia.
Okay. Gorstag immediately moves with the light of Palor and the swiftness that comes with a cleric trained well in the ways of war by the priests at Duskin.
Not trained that well, actually. That is a 5, so that's probably not going to do.
That's not going to hit, I do believe, somehow. So, is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Nope, that isn't.
Okay. In that case, the hobgoblins are going to do their thing. Yep, there it is. Alright. So, I do believe that's right. Goblins? Yes. Alright, let's get a goblin die. This one here. Well, the one that you just swung at is going to swing back. He's swinging with... Ooh, hello. A longsword. Okay. You're not within 5 feet of an ally of his. Anyway, okay, so that's a mighty 5 to hit. Which
No,
does not. This guy swarms you. That is a mighty 16 to hit.
No.
Cool. As does this guy. Whew. That's a nat 20. Okay. So. Okay. Where are my dice? There. I'm still trying to figure out this whole, like, battle thing, so. Like, in terms of where everything is placed, but okay. Okay. And swing down he does. As soon as I find a D8. Swing down he does with a longsword. This one cuts for 14 plus 1. So 15 points of damage. That powerful slash cuts across, cutting through some of your armors. That's all they're going to do. Fate is up. Now, where is Fate? Fate is here. Fate's going to move closer, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to there.
She can dash as a bonus action.
Correct. She will come up to the one that just attacked you, and she's going to attack with the Dagger of... Or would she use that? Dagger of Still Life. Does not hit with a natural 4. That's all that she's going to do. Orthanc, you're up. You're over here.
Cool. Is there... I want to cast Shatter. It's a 10-foot radius.
Okay.
So 2 squares out. Can I hit, like, almost all of the hobgoblins with that?
What's the radius, sir?
10-foot radius.
Okay, so you'd be...
It's a 60-foot range, so I just want to try and hit a lot of hobgoblins and not hit Gorstag.
How does the radius work? Is it diameter? I'm thinking of diameter. So
Twice,
Yeah.
yeah, so you can attack these 3.
That's your trigonometry.
Cool. I will pull out my axe and if I had makeup, this would be perfect, but I don't.
Yeah.
Just gonna do like a real hard strum on the guitar, like at the end of a riff.
Nice.
And cast Shatter at those 3.
Okay.
They have to make a con save.
Okay.
And then take damage, and half if they succeed. The
Okay.
DC is only 12.
What was it? Con save?
Yeah.
Okay. 11, 4, and 18. So 11,
Okay.
4, and 18.
Sweet. So the 18 makes it.
Okay.
Take half. But
So there you go. Yep.
that's 11, 13. So the 2 that failed take 13
Yep.
sonic damage.
Yep.
And the 1 that succeeded will take half, which will be 6.
6, okay.
And then I'd like to move around the
So what was the spell, sorry?
Shatter.
Shatter, yep. And then move.
Yep, around the other side of the drum
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
towards the Goblin King.
Cool.
Ogre
Okay.
King.
Who's now watching. The Ogre King himself, it's confusing because there's no ogres. It stands with giant short sword. And when I say giant short sword, most of you would consider this to be a great sword or such, but he holds it in one hand. However, as you cast Shatter, and essentially you just look at these guys and put your hands like this and play the note, it just rips through, and the reverberation hits all 3 of them, and you see them pushed back as if through a thunder wave. These 2 actually get lifted off the ground to the sound of your thing, and as the music, the note resonates within their forms, it just rips flesh from their bodies, and these 2 here just go and just scatter into death. This guy hits the ground and kind of rolls back 5 feet. And kind of stands back up. Okay, now the Ogre King. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I created this guy. I'm so happy to see him. Okay, so 5. And he's going to go this way. 10.
Hooray. All my dreams are coming true.
We'll deal with the hobgoblins on this side. You deal with the ogre.
Everyone flank to the hobgoblins. You take care of it. Okay. That's all he's going to... Oh, no, actually, no. He's going to make a ranged attack. So, who's going to fire at? Okay, Orthanc.
14 AC.
14 AC, alright. Nat 20.
Oh.
Shit.
Oh, you're in for it.
Okay.
Standing there with my mouth open saying, "Come at me," and then it hits.
That is 18 points of fire damage. as the gauntlet
Crit.
shoots, yeah. shoots across the room, scattering this flame that just engulfs you for a second, and it burns with this intensity. But instead of like shooting through you and past you, as soon as it hits your body, it just starts swirling around you, burning more and more and more, until eventually it dissipates. Are you still up?
Yeah.
Okay. Far out, man. 2 nat 20s already. Okay, that's all he's doing. Arkyan's up. What would Arkyan do in this scenario?
Scorching Ray.
Scorching Ray, okay. Wait, who was he? I can't remember. Which one did I think J? Oh, that's a J. I couldn't read my own writing. Cool. Okay, Scorching Ray. What's the range on that?
I'll grab that for you.
Thank you.
Quite long. He can target a couple of different characters, so he'd probably target the remaining hobgoblins.
Okay.
Probably one on the weekend, one until another one, I think.
Okay.
3 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range up to 120 feet.
Yeah.
You can hurl at one target with several. Range spell attack for each ray on hit. The target takes 2d6 fire damage.
Okay. Miss. A 3, a 4, and a 4.
Ouch.
Unbelievable.
Holy shit.
Okay. Dane, you're up. Jesus. I'm sorry, guys. This may be a TPK the way I'm rolling so far. That's you there.
Killed by that hobgoblins.
Yeah, I think Dain will tell the wounded to retreat, but will move toward the Moat King himself.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Yeah, by 30. And how far am I from Weekend Goblin?
This one?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45.
So I think I can throw a javelin taking a -2.
Go for it.
It'd be
Disregarded.
Sorry?
disadvantage, you mean, if it's beyond the
Disadvantage, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's a bit worse. Yeah, probably not worth it in that case.
That could be my sister. Yeah, continue.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still not close enough for the...
Nope.
I can't do very much helpful with my magic, I don't think. I could shield you. I'll give you 2 AC with a shield spell.
Nice. Okay, so Dain runs up beside Orthanc and just kind of holds your hand in the light of the One King, sails through, and this bubble kind of emanates around Orthanc.
Does he get the runes on his armor as well?
Yeah, in fact, briefly they kind
fuck's sake.
they just glow like on the top, not like part of it, but just on the top of you. Yep. Okay, back to the top of the initiative. That's Gorstag over here.
Okay. I am going to move back towards like the center of the drum. So basically, like towards where Gorstag,
This way.
Orthanc is.
Cool.
5,
10, 15,
close
20,
can I get to him?
Yeah.
That's
Your
not-
movement's 30, right?
Yeah, that's not within touching distance from him, is it?
No.
No.
Oh, of Orthanc?
Orthanc, yeah.
No, sorry.
Alright, that's cool. Alright, I'm going to cast Healing Word on Orthanc.
Cool.
Thank you.
Gorstag says and mumbles a small prayer of Palor, and as he does, this emanating warmth comes from your heart and then throughout your tendrils, and you kind of limbs, tendrils. You kind of stand.
He got burned pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so that is, what is it, 7 points of healing for you?
Cool. So some of the burnt skin kind of just turns back to regular orcish flesh.
And on myself, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Cool.
Which is a 1d8. And that's 10 points.
And Gorstag puts a hand on the wound, and the sword slash kind of heals itself as well. Cool. Is that what you're doing?
Yep, that's my turn.
Okay, Hobgoblin's going to attack Fate, this one. And these two probably can't make it that far with the speed. 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Oh, one of them can. Okay, 2 of them are attacking Fate. It's a 9, that one will not hit, and 15 will hit. So, that will be 1d8. Okay, 4 points of... Wait, 4.4... yeah, okay, so 5 points of damage as one cuts into Fate. The other guy just completely misses. Then we're up to Fate, who obviously is going to retaliate. A 2 and a nat 20. That will take out this guy, for sure. And injure this one. Awesome. No, sorry, that one did not hit. But nat 20 definitely kills that hobgoblin. Fate pulls out a dagger and in one swift moment right across the throat of this hobgoblin. You do notice the hobgoblins are wearing quite decent armor. And in fact, she manages to just find a break just here near the neck, near one of the veins that they were not expecting, and just cuts across and just hits the ground dead. Orthanc, you're up. Over here.
Nice work, Horned One. How far is the Ogre King?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Okay. I'm going to cast Blade Ward on myself,
Okay, cool.
and then use my movement to get within just 5 feet away from them.
5, 10,
basically.
15, 20, 25, 30. So, Blade Ward, Orthanc pounds himself in the chest, and as he does, there's this sound of a couple of strings play, and each of these notes kind of starts drifting around, darting like little points of arcane energy, and these little blades just start dancing around your side.
Oh, and with my bonus action, I'm going to say, heads up, your turn, Tin Can, and I'm going to inspire you.
Nice. Dain over here immediately feels a bit stronger and powerful. However, Ogre King is going to move forward. Multi-attack.
Okay. My AC's gone up to 16, and I have resistance to piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning.
Okay. In fact, as he steps forward, the dust scattering as he does so, he takes his sword, points it right at you, sheaths it.
Fuck.
And instead raises his fists. And he's coming down. Gets a 7 and a 4, both miss. As he tries to pound you like a walnut in a vice, kind of, and with your battle-like speed, your instincts kind of just tell you to. And the sound of knuckles cracking and bones as fists echo out. It's always going to do.
Boxing is about endurance. He's trying to wear you out.
Arkyan is up. Okay, cool. So I imagine he's going to Scorching Ray these guys. Neither of those will hit with a 9 and a 5. These
Maybe
guys.
I should roll.
He does. There are 3 rays,
Okay, so he'll.
so he might.
What's the plus on that?
It'll be +5.
Yeah.
Nope, does not hit any of them. Dane, you're up. Over this way.
Wonderful. So I can't get close enough to
5, 10,
run.
15, 20, 25. You can get to there.
I can get to there and then I guess just throw a javelin from there.
Okay. Right, roll to hit. Dane runs forward with great speed, power.
I'll throw a lightning javelin
Okay.
for that's like a 19.
And that hits. As he raises this javelin up, you see the spark of Arcana into the dagger, which just starts emanating with this like snake of lightning that kind of travels down. And as it looses, who's that? Orthanc kind of hears it sailing behind him, and he just, as it sticks right into the Ogre King's chest. He goes to catch it. How much damage does he take?
I forget. Is it an extra d6?
Sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. So if it matters, he takes 3 lightning and 2 physical.
Okay.
Plus strength.
Is it? Okay. So that'll be 6 physical instead of 2.
Okay. Cool. And it kind of more bugs him. It's like being like a mosquito bite or something. He just kind of just snaps it off, throws it to the side. Okay, back to the top of the initiative. That's Gorstag. You're up over here.
Cool. I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Nice.
And I'll manifest that basically just behind the Ogre King.
Cool.
And I will.
What form would you like it to take?
That would be a mace.
Cool. So this Dain and Orthanc, you just see behind the Ogre King now, smiling after that feeble attempt at an attack. Kind of you just see this glowing mace just shimmily appear behind him that does not notice.
Cool. And so I'll just attack with the weapon.
Go for it.
Which is a 22.
That hits. Roll damage.
Better.
And as you just see it suddenly into his back and.
Heard you like drums, big boy?
That is 5 damage.
Cool. And he tries to grab, but you know, like when you got an itch and you just can't get to the. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, that is my turn.
Cool. The goblins are going to run this way. So 5, 10, 15, 25. Fate will get an attack of opportunity on one of them, which does hit. That's a little bit of damage, so they're weakened. But when they come here, they're going to attack you, Gorstag. That is 2 9s plus 12 and a 12? No. Cool. Okay, they run up at you, and you just at this point just kind of turn and as their strikes come towards you, back them out of the way. Fate is now up. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Gonna get to there. Sorry, there. And it's going to throw the dagger of still light at the Ogre King. That will not hit at all. So we're back to Orthanc. Over here, right in front of the Ogre King.
Cool. Based off the javelin hitting him, do I know if he has like kind of magical armor from the amulets he's wearing? Could I tell that at all?
Roll some insight.
Okay.
Allow that as a free action.
Yeah. I should not touch this fucking die. That's 11.
11? It doesn't seem so.
Okay.
You're not sure what the necklace does?
Cool. A wise man once said you only live once, so I'm going to Great Weapon Master attack him with my axe.
Fantastic, roll to hit.
So
Out comes the axe from the hill, throws it in the air, catches it, and in one motion swings at the yoke.
flat 0 bonus. Come on, 20, please.
Does not hit.
You made it look impressive.
Yeah, it looked fucking cool.
It's all about
Catch it
the
in and swing.
Yeah.
The Ogre King actually blocks it with the gauntlet, and he just and the sound of metal on metal as he holds it, and you're kind of locked for a second. As you push it down, he pushes it back.
Alright. I'd like to take a glance back at Gorstag. How bloody are you looking at the moment?
Not very.
Okay. I'll...
Moderately. Oh, not moderately bloody.
Out of a 28, I'm feeling about like a 16.
Yeah, I'll give you a little cheeky healing word and just say, "You're right back there, Gorstag."
Nice.
Thanks, mate.
And that'll be 5.
Thank you very much.
Cool. And now it's the Ogre King's turn. You can see the look on his face as he realizes his fists have not done exactly what he had intended, and sheepishly goes back to the sword. He kind of tilts the hilt until it's pointing at you, and as he draws it, he swings. He's going to multi-attack.
Oh boy.
Net 20.
And
And a miss.
That's 20.
That's ridiculous.
Crits are us.
Yeah, sorry, 16. 18 points of necrotic damage.
Woo! Still standing.
Only one, nice.
Nice.
So the swipe that comes from the hilt misses as he pulls it, and you kind of start down and it arcs above, and you kind of stand up, proud. But as you stand, you don't realize he's coming back for another attack. And as the blade strikes across your chest, penetrating through some of the armor, you feel this necrotic energy set in, and the flesh around the wound you can see just die and wither and go a bit black. That is all he's going to do. Arkyan is up. Arkyan's going to attack these guys because they're kind of weakened. And drops the dice.
One job.
Yeah. Okay, all three of those hit. So... Arkyan. As these Arcan streaks hit these goblins, they are both incinerated in a flash. Their shadows scorched on the ground of the chamber. Kind of simple, just like yeah. Cool. That was Arkyan. Dain, you're up.
Yep.
15 feet from the Ogre King himself.
I'm going to maybe repeat that we should probably back away from this fight, but then go in myself.
Cool.
Good.
Dain steps around to the side of Orthanc, weapon in hand.
And yeah, I'm just going to take a big cheeky swing at the Ogre King.
And that you do as you bring up your mace, I assume?
Yeah, my maul.
Maul.
And, big overhead, and just hit him in the toes.
In the toes, sure. Roll to hit.
That is cheeky.
That is a 10.
Does not hit. This guy, even though he's massive and
You have
hulking,
inspiration.
Oh, I can add that, can't I? Oh, and it was actually 12 because my other thing as well.
okay.
Is that a D4? 6. So 12 misses as well, I assume?
Yeah,
But a 15.
does not hit.
Brilliant!
Just misses as the maul comes streaking down. Again, the gauntlet that he's wearing, he catches it in midair and kind of pushes it back. Is that all you're doing with your turn?
Yes.
Gorstag, you're up.
Okay. First off, I'm going to attack with the spiritual weapon.
Cool, yeah. And he's kind of given up on trying to find it. It's wrenched itself free from his back.
17.
That hits roll damage. And as it comes back, it comes swinging down again with that great intensity.
4 damage.
Seriously, wow.
And so that's a bonus action. So with my other action, I'm going to
Yep.
come up behind Orthanc, and I'm going to use Cure Wounds on him.
Oh, thanks,
Good.
buddy.
And I'll do.
You can only get to there.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's right.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Alright, well then I guess I'll just cast Healing Word again.
Okay.
That's a bonus action as well.
Oh, that is bonus action as well, isn't it? Well, that is a bit annoying.
We could probably do it as a standard, could you?
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
You can do it as a standard?
I think so, yeah. I
Uh,
think it's a bonus action is less than an action. I don't know what's the rule.
The ruling is that you have one of each type of action.
Right, okay.
So
then
I
unfortunately you can't.
Alright, in that case, I will cast Haunt Person on the Ogre King.
Hold person, right.
That means he needs to make a wisdom save, not losing.
Okay. Right. That's 14. Oh, shit. I've been rolling well, man. I don't know how. So essentially you raise your hand, and as you do, the Ogre King kind of feels this thing. And he actually casts fire upon himself, and the pain causes him to flash and free himself from that. Is that all you're doing?
Yep.
The goblins are dead, so they're out of the initiative. Fate, however, is up. Fate is going to throw Dagger of Still Life. That's going to hit. Alright. No, make it Wisdom save. Makes the save, unfortunately, but still takes a bit of damage. Alright. Cool. So this dagger sails from the other side of the room and into this chest of the Ogre King. And you see this white, greyish kind of light wrap itself around the Ogre King, trying to restrain him in place. But again, he breaks free of that. But you can see a little like frost burn there. Orthanc, you're up, right in front of the Ogre King.
Cool.
He's now like glaring down at you. His eyes kind of black and soulless, and his chin, like a great mass beneath his chin, wobbles as he kind of leans in closer.
Let's see if we can give you a close shave.
Yeah.
I'm going to attack him without a Great Weapon Master attack.
Okay.
So, adding a bonus, which is nice. 16?
That just hits. Roll damage. As
Praise be
catch.
to the axe gods, wherever they are. Cool. That is a whopping 6 copper damage.
6, alright.
With my bonus action, I will pat Dain on the side and go, go on, get in this time, and give you another inspiration.
Nice.
And that's me. Oh, actually, tell you what, I'll circle around him and
He'll
tell
get
him
an
on the
attack of
other
opportunity.
I'm not going to leave his threat range. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
going to stay right up beside him and go behind him.
Cool, yep, done. Nicely done. Alright, so after that, the Ogre King himself. Multi-attacks you, Dain. That is... one hit and one miss. I do. What's your ask? 16, yeah, one hit, one miss.
Was your shield spell on me concentration?
Yes.
9 points of necrotic damage
Cool.
as his short sword cuts into your arm.
So yeah, I think I have to roll some concentration, and I make it.
Cool. Alright. And again, the flesh around the wound just dies and goes black and grey. Arkyan is up over here. Help me out, what would Arkyan do?
Scorching bolt.
Scorching Bolt. What's the range on that?
120 feet.
Ah, sweet. So he makes what, 3 attacks?
Yep, 3 attacks.
No.
Scorching rays, 3 bolts. I meant fire bolt.
Firebolt.
Firebolt, yeah.
So that's just 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a d10 fire damage.
It's not going to with a 3. Okay, Dain, you're up.
Alright, I'll have another go at that smite.
Okay. And the Great Maul swings with an arc of arcane and celestial energy.
And misses.
And misses, unfortunately.
How much by inspiration?
Well, I rolled a 3.
Gorstag, you're up.
Okay.
This turn you can get within melee range.
Alright. How messed up does Orthanc look?
Pretty badly, I imagine.
Yeah.
Alright.
Standing, but pretty badly.
I'm going to use my Divine Channel, which means that both Dain and Orthanc can heal up to half their hit points.
Whoa.
Cool.
Basically, as long as it's not there's not more than 20 hit points.
Okay.
So we can go up to the halfway point.
Up to the halfway point. That's
Cool.
that's under 20.
Calculate and add this. As Gorstag steps forward, deep underground, you don't often feel the light of Pelor. As the god of the sun, he is more prevalent in forests and clear days. But you feel at this moment that he's been with you this entire time, watching hand on shoulder, unable to interfere is the plight of the gods. But at this moment, you just feel this energy of divine channel, and as your 2 hands glow with the light of Pelor, you just, one on Orthanc, one on Dain, and the shimmering light just travels through your forms. You feel the vibrations of the light all through you, and you just heal up to half your hit point.
Cool. And as a bonus action, I will cast Healing Word on
Cool.
as well.
Sure, thanks.
I used to know, yeah, how you look. I suppose you're looking half bloody.
Approximately 50% bloody.
Actually, no, yeah, no, I won't do that actually at this point. So.
Okay, would you like to use your bonus action to make a spiritual weapon attack?
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Yes,
No
I
worries.
would.
Dragon Age with a really spotty blood
19.
effect.
That hits, roll damage. As
Right,
again,
really
this celestial like mace that's behind him is just hitting him and
11 damage.
nicely done.
Is that the first time you've used that channel divinity ability?
I think it is actually. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I always forget about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're not desperate enough, usually.
Yeah.
The mace at this time is just going poof, attack, pulling back, poof, attacking. Awesome. Fate is up. 30. I'm trying to think what else Fate has.
She's a bow.
Yeah, I think that's probably what she's going to do.
She would get sneak attack if she gets to.
Not going to with an 11. Plus dexterity.
It'll be +5.
Okay, that hits. Yep, that hits. Yep. Plus a d6.
2d6.
2d6 total or plus 2d6?
Plus 2d6. It'd be 1d6 plus dex for a short bow, and then plus 2d6 attack.
Cool, alright, that's more like it. 13 points of damage. Alright, I take the calculator for this. Okay, there we go. Alright. The bow into the neck of the Ogre King, who snaps it off once it's in, throws it to the ground. A little miffed at this point. Orthanc, you're up. The other side, next to the spiritual weapon, you're now behind the Ogre King. That's not Orthanc, is it? You're Orthanc. Standing behind the Ogre King.
The
next to
mirror
spiritual-
world. Yeah. Cool. I will give him the old smackaroo, as they say.
Cool.
Again, without Great Weapon Master.
Okay.
That's a 25.
I do believe that hits roll damage as the weapon cracks into the spine of the Ogre King.
That's another whopping 6 copper damage.
Okay.
Um,
Dig your, what is it? Axe
Raker.
into his side. This time you draw a bit of blood, this thick, blackish, greenish kind of blood kind of just emanates to the front. Like a fly.
Please, sir, can I have some more? You guys aren't looking too bloody?
No, I'm fine.
I'm still pretty good. I've lost mine.
Okay, how,
Oh, we'll put it in your roll. You can't say the actual numbers.
Yeah. That would be metagame.
Yeah.
how are Ark and Fate looking? Have they taken...
That's fine.
Okay, that'll be my turn then.
Okay. He now spins to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, and knocks the spiritual weapon another way. And this time he's going again with the fist attack.
Cool.
Shit.
I effectively have
That-
16 AC still.
Both of those miss with a 1 and a 4. Seemingly he just can't hit you with his fists as he again tries to crack your skull like a walnut. You just kind of out of the way, and again the reverberation of muscle on muscle, bone on bone as he cracks those things together.
You can move faster than that, come on.
Nice. Arkyan is going to, what has he got left? He's probably used...
He'll have some second level slots, but alright. I guess probably just
Fireball.
Fireball, which that's a cantrip, so you just use that as much as you want.
Not going to hit with a 2. Okay, Dain, you're up.
It's terrible at shooting it.
Yeah, I can't roll at all.
Shout the Ogre King.
Unless I'm rolling for the Ogre King, which has his nat 20.
Yeah.
Come on.
Not using the cock dice, are you?
No, that's way over there.
Yeah. It's the new dice effect. It's just better.
Yeah.
I'll shout the Ogre King that I lose more blood every day.
Nice, okay.
You're a donor.
Yeah.
Yeah, involuntarily so. And that is a hit. So I rolled an 18.
Yep, nice, roll damage.
And I will add a smite on that.
Cool.
So that'll be a fire d6, couple of smite d6,
Nice.
couple of physical d6.
Alright.
Jesus.
The weapon comes careening with speed, grace, precision, and power.
Actually 8s.
Nice.
That's right.
And you connect with a mighty, powerful blow that does...
I reroll great weapon fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
So that is... Math is hard.
Yeah.
13 plus 6
19.
plus another 6
15.
Wow.
plus another 6.
20, 31.
That's pretty good.
Holy
Fuck.
fuck.
You
Okay.
kind of needed it though.
Yeah. I've been saving up like 3 turns worth of damage.
So as this maul cracks into the side of the Ogre King, you hear like ribs breaking, that fire, that bludgeoning, that power cracks into his side, and you hear him kind of not whimper but certainly yell.
Yeah. I'll shout for the rest. My fury is waning. I can't keep this rage up.
Sure you can.
And you can kind of actually see like shards of broken rib now poking through his flesh. He's like, "Ugh."
Oh, you can use inspiration for another d6 to that if you really want as well.
Is that what you're doing with your turn?
No, I'll save that for a miss.
You can use it for your AC as well.
Is that your turn?
Yes.
Gorstag, you're up. Back at the top of the initiative.
Well, I'll take the weapon first. That is a 16.
That just hits roll damage. As again, this mace.
7 damage.
7, nice. The arc of blood that comes from each retraction of this spiritual weapon, focused only on its task of doing as its master bids to hit this thing. It just hits. I think it's missed once. Like a miner hitting a rock.
And then I'll cast Guiding Bolt on
Nice.
the Very nice. That's not going to hit though.
Okay.
That's only a 9.
Fate is up. Standard bow. Ooh, that was close to a nat 20, but it landed on a 2. Orthanc, you're up. The Ogre King now faces you, bloodied and sticking out bone.
So he's looking quite rough.
No,
Okay.
no. He's looking injured, but not rough.
Really want to grapple him, but that's a bad idea. I'm gonna give him a smack again.
Got it.
Stick to my guns.
And the axe, I assume,
Yeah.
comes arcing.
Fuck it, I'm gonna Great Whip Mustard.
Alright.
Do or die.
Come on, 20. 7.
Does not hit. Comes sailing. Not enough. At this point, the Ogre King, he pulls out a dagger. The blade looks like it's made of ice. It's this almost clear metalish with these horrible little spikes. Mr. Orthanc, he's going to multi-attack you.
Hooray.
That is a miss and a 15.
I have 16 AC thanks to my friend Dan.
That is very good for you as he swings. And at this time, your axe that is still in hand from that last attack, as you miss and he goes to retaliate, you see immediately him reach for this dagger on his hilt, and you just know, okay, right arm, it's coming down this way. Before he's even got it out of the hilt, you're already countering that attack, and you bat it off the way. You see him kind of do this and look, and you just go, okay, he's coming low, and then you swing downwards and knock it once more out of the way. Arkyan is up. Firebolt. Nope, a 9. Seriously, this happens every time I do it for an NPC. Dain, you're up. Alright, you're here. It's in melee range.
Yep, so I'm out of rage, so unfortunately my smites can't be happening. But I do have to swing,
Yeah.
that's what I do. And that's a hit, because I rolled 17.
Excellent. Cracks into the side of the Open King once more. Does some damage, I imagine.
Does some damage. And I rolled pretty well on the damage.
Okay.
So that is a 25.
Okay.
Am I lying? No, let me check, I might be lying.
Okay.
I do that sometimes. That is a 20.
Cool, alright. As this cracks into his side once more, it hits the same point, the same ribs that are poking through, and this time you see them kind of crunch inwards, and you hear the sound of air being released as you puncture one of his lungs, and he looks at you, and you stand there with your resolve, your paladin resolve, as you kind of go, yeah, what up, bitch?
You know, I'm being like a drum.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And he kind of looks at you, and brings up his hand, and just reaches, and just grabs a handful of shard and bone and just pulls it, not breaking eye contact with you once. He just pulls out some of his ribs, and you hear it crack as his rib cage kind of opens up like a beer can being crushed, and he just drops some of his own bones on the floor.
That helps.
Top of the initiative, Gorstag, you're up.
Cool. So spiritual weapon first.
Yep.
That's not going to hit.
Oh, the spiritual weapon finally does not hit.
Alright.
I was batting 100%.
I might just have it set up and hit him with below range of attack.
Yep.
Miss. That's not going to hit either.
Okay, okay. Fate. A 7. Orthanc, you're up.
Man, this is just turning into a fucking full party game.
Yeah.
There's now like thick black and green sludge pouring from the wound. And you can see that, yeah, you can see small parts of his internal organs through this wound.
Okay. I'm gonna try and hit him one more time and then I'm gonna rethink my tactic.
Okay.
I'm not gonna Great Whip the Master.
Okay.
It's gonna be a regular attack. That's a 9.
Okay. He's up. At this point, he looks at you. Turns, looks at you guys. Looks across the room. Brings out a fireball. Casts it across the room. Unfortunately, does not hit as it careens past, but he's got multi-attack. The second one's not gonna. Oh, no, it's not gonna hit either. He sends 2 scorching bolts of fire across the room, trying to break the chains of one of the death dogs, but does not succeed. Arkyan's up. Fireball. A 3. I'm not fucking making this up. Dain, you're up.
This is what happens when Tim leaves us. He takes all the luck and it's gone.
Exactly. This is not quite enough.
Okay.
And then I can add some inspiration. And I think that pushes it over the line. That is a... Yeah, that's enough. That's so hard right now. You don't even believe.
Yeah.
But
I can't even.
Yeah, that's a 19 actually.
That hits roll damage.
Nice. That is...
Swinging for the same spot, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and make his lungs resonate so he can feel the drumming that he likes so much. And that is 7 plus 4, so 11 plus 6.
17?
17 damage.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And again, the music stopped. Again, the pounding of metal on this poor creature, on the wound of this guy. The spikes kind of dig. And, oh shit. Alright, hang on. Until Oblivion sounds good, let's do that. So, and again, this time it goes quite deep, and his flesh kind of, some of it falls off as he... You're starting to get on my nerves. See? You can see some nerves showing.
Right.
Is that your turn?
Ouch, yes.
Top of the initiative, Gorstag, you're up.
Cool.
This is not the right music. This is way too cut.
So attacking spiritual weapon is not going to hit.
Okay.
I'm going to try and cast Hold Person on you again, actually.
Okay, what's my save?
13 Wisdom.
Nice.
Does not make it.
Nice.
So, once again, these tendrils erupt from them and splinter around his arms and his limbs. And he tries to break once more, cockily so. He thinks, yeah, I'm just going to do it. And then he held in place. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, that was the end of my turn.
Okay. So, in that case, Fate, Bo.
Sure you would have advantage because he's paralyzed.
Very close to a nat 20, but 19 will hit. How much does the bow do? 2d6?
1d6 plus dex.
So,
plus 2d6 sneak attack. Because we're within 5 feet.
cool, so that's 15 on the dice plus the dex of...
I'd say 3 plus 3.
3, so, yep, 15, 18. Alright. It does some serious damage at this point. The arrow actually sinks into where you guys have cut and beaten the flesh away, and he actually kind of really feels it this time. In fact, Orthanc, you're up.
Okay. I'm just checking because with Hold Person
He's paralyzed.
paralyzed, so any attack that hits the creature is a critical if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
Yeah.
Does
Okay.
it get more saves or is it?
That'll be on the spell.
What get more saves? Sorry?
Hold Person.
It's probably still on his turn,
Oh
right?
yeah, at the end of each of his turns he gets another Wisdom saving chance.
Okay.
Automatically fails strength and dex saving throws. Okay, any attack rolls with advantage and it's crit. Alright. YOLO, as they say. I'm going to... First of all, I'm going to regret this. Second of all, I'm going to Great Weapon Master because I have advantage
Okay.
against him. Which means this twice anyway.
Very cool. Average thing.
Come on. 1 and a 10.
Wow.
Neither of them would have hit if I wasn't
Yeah.
using Great Weapon Master anyway.
Okay.
With my bonus action, I'll start swearing, and
Okay.
that's me.
Okay. Ogre King is up.
So he needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
That's 16 plus 2.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay.
But that has to be done at the end of his turn.
So that's the end of his turn. Arkyan. Firebolt with a 2. Fuck. Dain.
You should have some more spells, what do you think?
Possibly.
He probably will,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I don't know what else he can
Yes,
do.
like 5 first 3 seconds, I think.
That's the spell. We don't know what he has though.
Yeah.
He has like Scorching Hand,
Yeah.
Magic
You
Missile.
can always chuck some magic missiles there, it never hurts.
Yeah.
I
They
think
don't
he does
miss.
have Magic Missile. Yeah.
They don't miss.
It'll probably hit because it's not hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will do the thing that I'm known for, which is the wall.
Alright.
And that's nat 20.
Alright.
Oh, baby!
And
Roll some damn
I
no.
needed that. Oh, damn it. So
Dain, do everything.
I wish I save my dice for that. So that is 10 so 24 plus 4, 28 damage.
Jesus.
Alright. So, once again, it cracks poof, into his side. You hear some of his vertebrae bust as the force of this thing. And for a second, his form goes from standing to kind of jolted, and there's horrible, like traveling flesh as his belly kind of like echoes from the head of the blood turning damage. You now see he's standing a little less tall. Top of the initiative, that's Gorstag.
Cool. So spiritual weapon first. God damn it. That doesn't hit.
Okay.
And I'm just going to do a melee attack against him, which does hit with a 19.
That hits roll damage. He's looking bloodied. He's looking tired.
And that just does 3 damage.
Cool. Poof, cracks into his side. Fate. Oh. 5. Fuck. Okay, Orthanc.
I am finally going to learn from my mistakes and ready in action to attempt to shove him after he attacks.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to shove him to the ground after he attacks.
Okay.
Is he on the edge of the drum?
Yeah. Dain spins. Comes at you with his swords.
I could delay my turn and help.
2 nat ones.
To give you
2
advantage.
2 nat ones on his multi attack.
Wow.
He hits himself, right?
I'm going to point and laugh.
I think he drops his sword with 2 nat ones.
Yeah.
He swings. Dain, you retaliate
Ooh.
with your maul. Poof, bats out of his hand. You hear the bones in his hand crack and break as the sword scatters to the side.
Let it go, because I would like to kick that in the drum.
Okay, it's over here.
That triggers my ready to action.
Yeah.
So I'm going to attempt to shove him. So it's a contested athletics check. He'll just be strength.
Is athletics strength?
Athletics, yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
16.
Oh my god. Knowing my luck, I'm going to roll a fucking 2. Come on. Come on. 16 plus 7.
Nice. Alright. That succeeds.
So he is now prone.
Boom! And the sound of this great creature hitting the stone floor echoes and reverberates through this chamber that you already know is set up to spread sound that way. And some of the hobgoblins around the drum who have just been watching this whole thing kind of look at each other, scared, confused. Is that your turn?
That was my ready to action.
That was your reaction, so Arkyan.
So if you're within 5 feet of him, you have advantage on attacks.
Okay.
If you are
That's-
further, you have disadvantage.
That's going to hit. What's the damage for fireball?
1d10.
Yeah.
Alright.
So he's got this. He's...
It's rather 1, but fuck it. Even when I roll good, I roll bad. Dain, you're up. He's prone now. You've got advantage on melee attacks, disadvantage on ranged attacks.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I imagine he's too big for me to knock him in the pit anywhere, really, isn't he? So I'll just do my usual and try and bring the ball down on his head.
Do it. Do it.
I can. Hopefully I can. So how is a 16?
Just hits, roll damage. As this... Oh, and now, at this point in the fight, it's getting difficult to even raise these things up with your aching muscles.
Yeah, it's like working on a railroad.
Yeah.
Hammering away all day. That didn't improve at all. So 5, 10, 14 damage.
Nice.
Okay.
No, this was blinding.
Boom! Cracks down upon him, this time in the chest. Feel the sternum break beneath the weight of your maul. He's now got broken ribs, broken busted back, broken sternums. Gorstag, you're up.
So spiritual weapon again, so
Yeah.
it's a 1, so fortunately that is not going to do it.
Does it drop itself?
Yeah.
He's looking ragged, man. Finish this.
And then I will just do a melee attack next to him, which is actually going to hit. That's nice.
Roll damage.
That is going to be 6 damage.
Cool. Fate. Arrow with disadvantage. Still hit. Oh no, disadvantage. Does not hit. Orthanc.
Alright, I'm gonna attack him without Great Weapon Master. Holy fuck, please. Natural 20.
Boom.
Finally, so I get to use the other part of Great Weapon Master. So first of all, I do a d12, which is an 11, times 2, which is 22, plus 3, which is 25, plus as an orc I get an extra critical die.
Nice.
So that's another 12, so that's 37, and as a bonus action I can make another attack against it.
Nice.
So I'll do that.
What weapon are you using, sir?
Great.
Great axe, and that's a 19.
If the bard is shaming my roll.
37 plus another 7 is 44.
44 points of damage.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That's pretty impressive. As you
Again, I was saving it up all the time.
you raise this great axe to the now silent cavern, other than the sounds of the Ogre King, who's lying on the ground going, that will be the last mistake you ever... But before he can finish his sentence, this thing comes swirling down with grace, power, precision, the ecstasy, as it cuts right down the centre of his windpipe through, and you feel the steel of the weapon hit the stone floor, and his head clean cut off, splits, blackish blood pours, and his head just kind of rolls to the side, and it just says, "Fuck!"
That's enough of that rubbish, and I kick it to the dogs.
Nice. And
Oh
the
no,
dogs...
we need that.
The
Dive on the head, not let it get to the dogs. This is our ticket out.
There's a scattering as Orthanc kicks the head and Dain rushes after it and picks it up. The dog's now snapping away.
So I'm fighting with the dogs over the head. So
Yeah.
this is probably the...
I'm imagining you and all like, back at the dogs.
The rest
Yeah,
of the
I'll
hobgoblins look at each other. They're Ogre King slain. They turn and some of them go, "We gotta attack with the drums." And they kind of look at you guys and immediately all just throw the drums in the air and off they go.
No, I'm going to use Intimidate and ask one to jump in the drum
Okay, yeah, roll intimidation with advantage.
while holding the head in one hand.
Yeah,
So that's a 19. Let's see if I can do better. No, I can't.
okay.
And I'm proficient, so that is a 23.
Yeah, you totally, they do exactly that and dive into the drum. They just jump, the rest of them are scattered and terrified. And once more, the cavern falls completely silent. Falls completely silent.
You need to time that better.
As the party, the Black Winter Knights, through power, constitution, friendship, the clever use of spells, and a little bit of luck, managed to slay, especially with my nat 20s, managed to slay the Ogre King beneath the mountain, the Endless Mountain, one of the 5 greatest threats to Elisia, the Lords of Violence, now down to 4.
3.
As I will deal out experience at the beginning of next session. I'd say that might take you to the next level. We will see. I think it's probably enough killing one of the Lords of Violence. Excellent. So, that is all we're going to do for tonight, as it is late and we have other things that we're doing. Well, that's a complete lie, but let's pretend like we've got stuff going on. Thank you guys very much for coming along this episode of Black Winter Nights on the D20 Multiverse. Remember to check out our other content. If you've got nothing to do at this time, jump on our YouTube, the D20 Multiverse for NPCs of Taldore, Dragon Tavern, the other game set in the same world. In fact, another party were on their way to the Ogre King. Where they
Yeah,
were now,
I wonder what party that was.
also tasked with bringing down the 5 Lords of Violence. So if you want to see that same game, that'll live stream in 3 days here on the same channel. If you want to rewatch some of this, that'll be up on our YouTube in about 4 days. And
Or they could watch on the Twitch.
or watch it on the Twitch, which is Twitch, the D20 Multiverse.
Well, they're watching.
Yeah, I know what's going on. Also, check out the GM's Journey on iTunes and SoundCloud with our good friend Benjamin Crallan, who I think Orthanc's been on. Gorstag's been on that. Yeah, I've been on that. So go check out. It's very interesting content. And thanks you guys for coming along. We'd like to thank Leonard for that donation yesterday of 25. That's going towards some awesome miniatures, which I'm going to pick up on Saturday. So you might be able to see them in the next Eyes of Elisia game. For myself, Oliver Dungeon Master, and my lovely players, the Black Winter Knights. Have a good one. Good night.